right, I think if I hit that button, we should go live. We should go live. Let me make sure the YouTube fam is here. Let's pop out the new chat. This old chat gotta go. Pop out the new chat. We should be live. So today, guys, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. We are going live with Rick Barker, who is Taylor Swift's former manager. And you can ask him anything related to the music industry and the modern music industry. So for those who just joined, what's up, Ethan? What's up, Elijah? Rich Hunt here. So for those who grabbed your VIP seats over on Zoom, you guys are going to get the priority for your questions being answered. But everybody on YouTube, I still want you to pitch in your questions so that we have a good conversation going. So let me load up the Zoom real fast. Start this webinar. Oh, you know what? I might need to do something here. Let me do one thing. Sorry, YouTube, you won't see my face for a second. But shout out to everybody who just joined. We're about to go live with Rick Barker himself, Taylor Swift's former manager, and we're going to talk about the music industry. So let me sign in as, okay, this is my big head. And I think it worked. Okay, so this is like a webinar version of Zoom. I've never used the webinar version. This allows people to ask questions as VIP members, so we'll see how it goes. There's a poll on here. There's a Q&A. Launch poll participants. Okay, how do I do all this? So shout out everybody on YouTube. We're about to kick it off live. There he is.
Hola, senor.
Habla español.
That's right.
I don't even know what that means. Can you hear me?
I totally can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, boss man.
Dude, I don't have that stripper light you got going on in the background there.
It's so funny. My neighbors, they saw this light at night and they got a light. That's how influential we are over here, you know, just convincing people to buy lights.
That's how you roll, man.
Indeed. Let me get the screen set up here. But how you feeling?
Sure. I'm good. We got some people showing up over here.
Oh yeah, so for everybody on YouTube and everybody in the live stream, I said there was 100 seats, which there were. I didn't know that Zoom allowed people to sign up past 100. And then it ended up being 286 people who signed up for the VIP seats. So I had to upgrade.
All good. Hey, Zoom got their money.
Yeah, I was like, I got it. But it's all good. It's all good. So it's worth it. And the intention today is just to help you guys and give you a new perspective of where the music industry is going and how to navigate. So Rick Barker, your story is unique because when you went through your story, you showed me how it comes down to, like, when I say spiritual, I don't mean just God stuff. I mean invisible stuff. It comes down to a lot of invisible stuff. So for those who don't know, we got Rick Barker in the building. Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Oh yeah, we're turning up. They're clapping for you right now. So Rick Barker is known as the former manager for Taylor Swift, and you can see his plaques all behind him. He got his book on the wall. Now, what else you got back there?
Florida Georgia Line, Brantley Gilbert. I've got a couple Canadian plaques for Taylor. I got her first platinum record. I've got some Jack Ingram over here. I've got a cool piece of artwork I bought from a Haitian artist. I got to show you this. This thing is awesome.
Let's see it. I need something cool on my wall. My YouTube thing doesn't shine as bright, but it's to my right. I should take it off the wall. What's up, Cyberface? There it is. Okay, stylish art, as they
say. Right.
Art.
Dude, it was funny because this guy was selling drugs and art, and since I'm 28 years sober, I passed on the drugs and said, "Bro, show me that art you got." So I ended up buying some of his art. He said, "I got to supply what they want to buy." I'm like, "Well, I'll buy that piece of artwork from you."
I love that. Let me do one thing. People were saying my mic's too low, so let me.
Sure.
That happened before on Zoom. Can you guys hear me now? Check.
You sound great on my end.
Okay, because I guess Zoom like boosts up the audio, whatever. Okay, we should be good. So, how you feeling today? First of all, everybody who is unfamiliar, Rick Barker, I met you in Nashville when we were hanging out with Gabe and Anno Domini and Gabe from Legion Beats at their MIDI Money Mastermind.
That's right.
Yeah, and you broke it down. You broke down your history, your story. You broke down the way you translated your experience into the modern world. And I think that's the conversation we can have with the producer community today is how do you take all your experience in the shifting world called the music industry and then apply it to the modern day?
Well, I think the cool part is to realize that there's the industry and then there's the business. The cool part is we're in the business, so we don't have to play by the same rules. The industry has, you know what? Let me pop this out.
Oh, gotcha.
I got them Invisalign things on, and today's my first day, and I sound like I'm talking about this at the time, and they say, you got to wear them for 22 hours. I'm like, shit, I can't. I talk. You know, this is what I got to do. So you guys can go ahead and laugh, or if you spit up on yourself, I apologize. But
I thought you were about to take out your dentures or something. No, I have Invisalign too, and I know how it is. It's so hard to say S. Like, it is impossible.
It was, and my daughter is downstairs laughing. You know, it's like I told her, I'm going to cut you out of the will or something. So
right.
It was too funny. But yeah, so what happened is that with the industry and the business is too often, I think, as independent artists, as independent producers, you try to play by their rules, but you don't have to play by their rules. You know, they have to release singles, and they have to follow that single format. You get to release songs. You get to build that audience. You don't have to sit around and wait for permission. You don't have to raise your hand and hope that you're the next in line. And that's what I think so exciting about today and the music business is that we get a chance right now to wake up in the morning and have our music heard all around the world, and we don't have to ask permission. We don't have to wait for someone to anoint us that you've been granted the ability to go out and share your music with the world. No, you just get to go out and do it. That's what you get to do. And you get to make the music that feels good for you. But if you know your audience, my goal is make that music that feels good to them as well, or else you're just making music for yourself. You know, it's like there's a lot of great producers that I know that are in the inventory business because they just create for themselves and forget that that end user is who this is all about.
Deep. So I have a good question for you, which is quality versus quantity, but also there's a lot of producer leaders who say, do what you love or do what makes you happy, and then you'll magically find a way. So I want to ask you that. But before I get into that, just so people hear your story, because your story is pretty unique in the way that you came about navigating from, I forget when you started this all, but like 19.
Yeah. So
something.
Yeah, my story, and I'll just make it real quick. I'm a product of divorced parents. I never had I was too bored. I get bored real easy, so I could never sit down and learn the skills that you guys learn. Just doing something over and over and over again didn't really make much sense to me, but I've always had the ability to hustle. I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was like 7 years old, and I've always been in the business. So what my philosophy was I would go find the talented people and I would promote them. I would be their voice. I would go out and make sure that people knew who they were. I used to say I would go and befriend the rich kids and use their parents' money for my ideas, and we would go out and start these businesses. So I'm 53 years old. So back in the late 70s, early 80s, I had one of the first mobile DJ companies in Alabama. So I was going out doing college parties. And this is back when we had to spin vinyl. I was spinning vinyl when I was, 14, 15, 16 years old. And radio was always the passion that I wanted. But coming from divorced parents, I ended up going to 3 different high schools. And I was very impressionable. You try to fit in when you're the new kid in school. So sophomore, junior year, the Christians and the jocks took me in. So I went to church, played soccer, and then I moved to California when I was a senior, and the Stoners took me in. And on my 18th birthday, my buddies took me to a strip club because that's what all 18-year-olds do on their birthday. And one of the girls was like, "Man, I love your voice." And I'm like, "Cool." She goes, "Would you announce my next set?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do what these knuckleheads are doing." So I did that. They offered me a job, 18 years old, being paid $1,000 a week cash to work around naked women. What else could I ask for? And my dad's like, you don't want to be around those places. And I'm like, what do you know? What am I going to do? Go to college and make $24,000 a year? I'm making more money doing what I love at the time, I thought, and ended up dating one of the girls. She broke my heart. Guy comes up. He says, "Hey, try this. It'll make you feel better." It was cocaine. This was in the 80s. And I tried it, and I said, "I still feel like crap." And he's like, "Well, you need to smoke it." I said, "Okay." So I took a hit off a crack pipe, and I chased that high for almost 4 years. I mean, every day I went to places that I wouldn't wish on anyone. April 4th, 1989, got on my knees, asked God to let me die. I was tired, and I woke up that next day and haven't had a craving since then, but realized that drugs and alcohol are but a problem. And just, the problem's me. They're the symptom. It's like I had to fix me, and had a little bit of run-in with the law, felt that since I wasn't, drinking and driving anymore, that I could drive on a suspended license. Found a judge that didn't think as highly of me as I did, and ended up sentencing me to 11 months in jail. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to jail. So I thought, for whatever reason, I was a dumbhead. I just thought that it would magically just kind of disappear. And it didn't. And I ended up getting arrested on the radio right from the air. I was the morning disc jockey, man. They snatched me right up off the air, and I did 4 months in Santa Barbara County Jail. And I call that the best, worst thing that ever happened to me, because what happened at that point is I got humbled, and I realized that it doesn't matter what your skin color is, what you come from. When you're in jail, everyone's equal. Mm-hmm. And everyone's innocent, by the way. If you haven't figured that out, everyone in there's innocent and everyone's equal. Well, I learned everyone's equal, not necessarily everyone's innocent. But when I got out of jail is when things started changing for me. I went back to being on the radio. I got invited to coach a girls' high school soccer team. And what I didn't realize at that point, and when I say God or whatever, I'm not here to put religion on anybody. That just is part of my story. I just hope somebody believes in something. At that time, it was like God was preparing me for Taylor, because I spent 2 years coaching girls' high school soccer. I speak teenage female. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but it allowed me to be able to communicate with her. And what I didn't know at the time is that me and this little girl were going to go off and make some major changes in the music industry at the time. And then spent a couple years with Taylor, had an absolute blast, took it as far as I felt I could take it. If I stayed with Taylor, I would have ended up divorced. My kids wouldn't know their dad. My last year with her, I was gone 187 days. We were on major tours, and I was about to become a millionaire. I had been on salary. My book is called The $150,000 Music Degree, because that's what my salary was with her. And everything I learned about managing, I learned by doing. And in 2008, I was going to a straight commission, and we had already had 13 million on the books. I would have become an instant millionaire. And I just prayed once again. And I'm like, at what cost? My kids aren't going to know their dad. It's going to go out in alimony and child support. At that time, all these families, man, were showing up in Nashville, all these oil dads from Texas with their daughters in sundresses and cowboy boots, thinking that was the magic. And basically would write me a blank check to make their daughters the next Taylor Swift. And I realized at that point, I started going online and I started searching, how to get a record deal, how to get a publishing deal, how to find a manager, and all the stuff that kept showing up was like 10 years old. There was no one talking digital. There was no one talking about what was going on right now. And I made a decision at that point. I said, you know what? I'm going to become the Chamber of Commerce for the music business. I'm going to show people how to get their businesses set up properly, their music registered so that they get paid. And then social media. A lot of people hate it. It is the best tool in the world, man. It gives you a worldwide audience every day if you know how to use it properly. And I saw that most people weren't. And I started teaching people how to utilize social. And now, I've got 150 management clients in 18 different countries and 16 different genres of music, from hip hop to pop to jazz to instrumentalists to spoken word, because what I teach is the same no matter what genre. I manage the person. I manage I've got producers in my world because they want to know how to go out and find artists. They want to know how to find these artists and then show them how to become artists. So there's a lot of different people that have come into my world, and I've really been going at it since about 2013. And last year is when I started offering personal management to artists. I don't do day to day. I'm not keeping your schedule. I'm not holding your hand. We're not talking every day. I'm helping strategy, big picture, accountability, game plans, door opening. Been blessed. I've just been invited to do a lot of stuff with Rel Carter from Rock Nation. So I'm doing a lot on the education side. We're really wanting to go out and educate a lot of these hip hop artists on how to make sure that what they're putting out into the world, they're able to get paid on. And that's what I love. That's what I love.
Yeah, I love the story of basically transforming, going from, like the story of the Phoenix, going from nothing, even below nothing, and then into something. I think that's what makes, that's the hero storyline that we go to the movies to watch all the time.
Yeah, the hero's journey is what they call it.
The hero's journey.
And all of you have a journey of some sort. That's the thing too, is a lot of people, even somebody who grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, had miserable times in their life. Everyone has been judged. Everyone has been hurt. everyone has experienced something that they can use that message to help another person. I truly believe that. There was one perfect person as far as I know, but everyone else, we've all got hurt. Nothing's perfect for us every single day. The cool part is, as creatives, is you have an outlet. Some people's outlet is gangs. Some people's outlet are drugs. Some people's outlet are being a womanizer. Some people's outlets are pain pills. Whatever that outlet, you guys have a creative outlet that can absolutely impact the world. And what I want to be able to do is empower you to know that you're good enough. Empower you to know that you may not have Drake's audience right now, but guess what? Drake didn't start with an audience. Beyonce didn't start with an audience. Jay-Z didn't start with an audience. Everyone started where they started, and all of you are starting somewhere.
I love that. Yeah, you said a lot of things. Like, for example, I went up into Toronto to have a talk with the producer community, and I didn't realize when you share your story, it makes somebody else resonate, and they feel like they're not alone anymore. And that's good enough to make them get through that problem.
Absolutely.
That's extremely powerful. And also, I want to talk about the hidden costs that you mentioned. Like, there's no amount of money I would ever take to ruin my family life, or like ruin my future family life, or like hurt them emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever. I would never take any check on any level. But I don't think everybody has that integrity.
Well, and I don't think sometimes, I think a lot of times, and we've got a ton of questions over here in the chat. We're going to get to all of you guys. I'm not going anywhere. This Friday night belongs to you. So I will answer every single one of those questions that comes in. But what I think sometimes is that everyone has to make the decision that's right for them. So there are no people who, I don't think there's it. I think that everyone's situation is different. I think that you have a clear enough head on your shoulders, and you're a businessman, so you kind of understand that concept. But sometimes we have to go make mistakes in our life in order to not make them again. I don't know if that makes any sense, but sometimes it's like I tell people, I got asked to do an article in a Canadian magazine, and they said, would you tell us why artists should be entrepreneurs? And I said, I don't think you can teach entrepreneurship. I said, an entrepreneur is not afraid to get punched in the face. I said, almost every artist I know is fearful as hell about getting punched in the face. And an entrepreneur is willing to go in debt to make something happen. Most artists aren't willing to do that. They'll hold on to what little money they have, not realizing that they need to spend in order to grow. It's like, you've got to water the surface. So I think the more experiences we have, and one of the things that I really love about what it is that I do now is that I've put myself in a position to give people the opportunity to ask me these questions about their career, because no two artists' career paths have ever been the same. None. We see them up here, but that path to get there was different for each and every one of them. So what we have to do is sit back and say, okay, what makes you unique? What makes you different? Because you were bringing up earlier about quality or quantity. Right now, people expect quality. So until you get quality, you shouldn't be putting anything out. You do not want to practice in the world that we have today. There is so much talent. I mean, my Instagram, every day somebody's sending me something and I'm like, damn, this is good, but then I go look at their followers and they haven't posted in 9 days. They've got 43 followers. And I'm like, see, you don't want to be found yet. Everyone wants to be discovered before they're ready. And that's one of the hardest things as a manager is to instill that patience, is to say, look, let us prepare you properly, because here's the thing. It's not hard to get a record deal. It's hard to keep a record deal. It's not hard to put out one song. Let's set you up to put out 10 songs. Let's build a career. Everyone's like, dude, I just want to be famous. I said, there's a lot of people famous for the wrong reasons. Fame isn't what it used to be. I know a lot of people that are internet famous. Hell, we all know people that no one's ever heard of that are making more money than a lot of the famous people that we hear on the radio or see on TV.
Yeah, true. That is true. It's like there's so many people with like millions of followers that we don't even know everybody's famous nowadays.
Yeah, right.
But let's see the YouTube audience. The YouTube audience is at 160, and then we got about 28 folks in the Zoom. So I guess they didn't know which side to go to.
They can go to wherever to ask questions. Let me know when you want to start answering questions. And also, too, what's fun is I like bringing people on. I like talking to them one-to-one. If you are in a position to where you would like to ask a question and you want us to bring you on this, all you have to do is raise your hand. But down in the bottom left of your screen, you're going to see a microphone and a video. When we bring you on, go ahead and enable your microphone. Also, too, just be precise with your questions because we want to get to as many people as possible. Are you cool if we answer a couple questions?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see that raising hands thing. Okay, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so what you do is you go in, and if you click on it, you should be able to make them a panelist.
Okay. Does it allow you on your side, or is that only me?
You might be able to see it on your side. I don't think that I can. I see that I could open up a chat window with them, but I don't know if did you set it to where we could, there he is. So if you go in next to him and say unmute, so just click to the top right, you'll see the 3 little dots. Daz, you there?
I know how to use, I use.
What's up?
What's going on, guys? God bless you, man.
What's going on?
Hey, Busy Bee. Yo, seriously, man, appreciate what you do, man. I've been following you for a while, man. Definitely love all your content, what you've been doing, man. And Rick, I completely relate a little to your story too, man, coming up and where we're ending up now, man, where God pulled us out of where we're at and bless us. So it's pretty good thing, man. So God bless you. But
Sabbath, no.
Yeah. That means we've got it. We have to get his YouTube subscribers up to 667,000. Right now he's got 3 6s and a K.
It's like the timing of this is super crazy.
Yeah.
But real quick for you, Rick, my biggest thing is when I came back to the Lord, I started a gospel hip hop ministry where I've been writing and so forth, and just thinking long term, like you said, because I run my own marketing agency on my personal side. But as far as when management comes, because you see a lot of these companies that say, hey, they want to manage, but then it's really just some marketing package that they want to sell you.
Right.
But when it comes to the actual side of the industry, for a management company, as far as yourself, you find somebody who you do want to work with. What is the expectation that us as artists should see? Because I know we have to invest into our craft.
Absolutely. And I wasn't coming here to pimp my stuff, but if you go to managemymusiccareer.com, I have a training and I walk you through what does a manager do, what to expect from a manager, when you should get a manager, how managers get paid. A lot of people don't understand that. It's a really eye-opening experience when I walk them through this process of what it is that a manager should do and what you should expect from a manager. Here's the one thing that all of you need to understand right away. And if you don't get anything else from what I say tonight, this is your business. A manager does not put in their own money. A manager it can't work harder than you work. A manager is like you're the store and they're the general manager of your store. Gotcha. So too often people think that managers, if they just get a manager, everything's going to happen for them, or if they just meet the right person or get in with the right crew. And what I always say to that is I said, well, let me ask you this, because they'll come to me and they'll go, dude, I just know if I have you on my side, we can go places. I'm like, what makes you say that? Yeah. I share the same thing with a lot of different artists, but think of it this way. Why is everyone that Puff Daddy has brought into his world and signed to his label or put on his TV shows or invested money in not been successful? How come everyone that Drake or Jay-Z or Kanye or whoever? Because it's the person. It's like we have to make sure we're investing in the right business. And that's what industry folks want right now. See, because right now you guys have all the tools to start your business. They want to see that your business is working. They want to know when they come to you and say, hey, who's your PRO? That you know what a PRO is. They want to know that you understand the business. For those that don't know, that's Performance Rights Organization. They're the people that collect your money for songwriters. So there's a lot of the business side that I think, especially in the hip hop community, is being missed. It's like, I'm going to create it and I'm going to throw it out there because they saw somebody else did it. There's $2 billion, that's with a B, dollars of unclaimed royalties for songs that were played on internet radio because they don't know who to pay. And that's where I try to come in and say, look, let's get you set up as a business. Let's get your music registered properly. Let's get a website that looks professional. That's your store. And then let's use your marketing platform, which is social media, to drive people to your store to know that what's going on. So a lot of these management companies or production companies, they can get quite pricey. They really can. So you want to hold on to yourself as long as you can. When you start needing guidance and structure, that's when you start looking for a manager. You may find someone, the key is find someone you trust.
Correct.
Find someone who's had experience going to where you want to go or getting people to where you want to go. Or you find a young person that's coachable. That's what I love the most. I like finding young people that are hungry, because remember, I didn't even finish high school. I didn't go to some fancy college to manage her. She trusts me. Her dad knew that I wasn't afraid to ask for help. He knew that if I didn't know the answer, I would go out and get it. He knew that I believed in her. That's what you guys should find, is that person. And in the meantime, start paying for education. Education costs money. All businesses take money in order to run. But yeah, definitely just know what it is that you're looking for. Know the goal and know I need somebody that can help me get there. And if you want to know the details of a manager, go to managemymusiccareer.com and you'll find out more.
Appreciate you.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
All right.
I just want to check my mic real quick.
Yeah, and if you go up to his 3 dots, you can send him back as a panelist. So put return to attendee.
Return to attendee.
Yeah, if you remove him, he's gone and he can't get back in.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh, remove. Okay, here we go. Shout out.
No, not remove. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put back to attendee is what you do.
Oh, wait, did I kick him out the whole thing?
You might have, but he got his answer. Go to YouTube.
My bad, Daz.
That's okay. You're driving the car for the first time. That's all right.
Wait, change role to attendee. Oh,
that's
sorry.
it. That's all right.
Daz. Sorry. Anyway, I just want to make sure my mic is good.
You're good. You're good on my end. If somebody's saying it's not, they need to turn on their thing.
They're saying I'm low. But I like what you said. From my understanding, it's saying that a manager is, like, for example, myself. I've grown my brand to where I need help now. Like, I need people who are leaders and good at what they do so that I can walk away and do other things, and they're managing and controlling something over here. And somebody
and you could outsource a lot of yours too. You know, like the management service I provide is a paid management service. I don't put people under contract. I don't take commissions, because most of the time it takes a couple years for them to make money. But that couple years is when they need somebody guiding themselves the most. It's like I always tell folks, you want the map before you go into the forest. True. You don't want to get into the forest and then not know how to get out. You know, so a lot of times that's what I've been having to reframe the mind to say, look, you're paying for a service. You know, for a long time, I called it coaching and mentorship. And in our world, people buy coaching and mentorship. I spend a lot of money on coaching and mentorship. But in the music space, no one wanted a coach or a mentor. They wanted a manager. What's funny is it's the same exact job. We're doing the same exact things. We just had to call it something different in order to help people. And I was able, because I do what's called one to many. It's like you and I are having a conversation and I'm, working with you, but there's a lot of people that are watching. That's how I do the role. And that's what allows me to do it for a fraction of the cost. And I don't put the pressure on you of having to go make $100,000 your first year. Because if you did, your manager would only make 15 grand. Who can run their family off of $15,000? So that's when I share that in the webinar, people are like, holy crap. So that's why I can't find a manager. I can't afford to pay one. Well, you can, you just need to maybe buy one less piece of gear and get yourself some mentorship and get yourself some management.
I agree. That was my next word that I wrote down. I wrote down leadership, coach, mentor, and there's 3 levels of operating. And I think, like you said, it's more than just managing a part of the business. It's also mentorship. You have a vision through experience, and you could see, okay, there's a pothole.
Yes.
Dodge the pothole and go this other way.
Absolutely. Or one of the things that's so important right now is having somebody that can show you where to spend. Because a lot of times people are spending a lot of money on recordings. That's what was happening in Nashville a lot, is they would come here and they would record this record and spend $5,000 aside. And they've got this $60,000 record and they have no audience. I'm like, no, you need to build the audience first and then go bring them the music. You're like going and asking strangers to like your stuff. And that's not the case. John Lewis says, how can I get into the business as a manager / artist? John, are you wanting to be a manager? You wanting to be an artist? But if it's a manager artist, all of you are your first manager, by the way. You're your first publishing company. You're your first booking agent, promoter, all that stuff. I think the best way to be a manager is to go find an artist and manage them. Seriously, go find somebody who you see has talent, but here's the one thing I want to warn all you managers about. Don't fall in love with the music, fall in love with the person delivering the music, because if they do not have work ethic and they don't have a clear understanding that this is a business, you're going to waste a lot of time and you're going to be heartbroken in the end. I have been on the receiving end of investing hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money into artists because I fell in love with the music and they decided to stop working, or they decided that they couldn't handle it anymore, or they decided there was a lot, or they decided to go with the other guy who came along because he had shinier objects and shinier toys. It's like, really fall in love with the person delivering the music. Because here's the thing, we can teach you, we can create music for you, we can teach you how to sing, we can teach you how to rap, we can do a lot of those things for you. What we can't teach you is how to give a crap, and we can't teach you determination and work ethic. That's on you, the individual.
That's so true. Oh my goodness. Because I used to have I didn't mean to interject so quickly, but you tapped into like my spirit on that one. Because I used to have a private mentorship where I was teaching people how to, because I wanted to know that my stuff worked in other industries too. So it's kind of like me learning if my stuff worked. And as I was teaching these people, I was like, okay, these are cool people and everything. But then I wrote out a 30-day plan and the person didn't even look at it. And I was like, why am I pouring my soul into wanting people to succeed more than they want themselves to succeed?
Right.
It just blew my mind, like how little people will take action.
Well, and for me, I'm going to always outwork the person that I'm working for. That's just my nature, but it can't appear that way. You know, and that's the thing. It's like when you start finding yourself arguing with people to do the right things, that's the warning sign to get out. That's like an abusive relationship. Leave. Leave the abusive relationship.
1-800-LEAVE.
Yeah.
Oh man, you want to? Okay, now that I know how to properly do this, you want to let Ferris Bueller?
You could let Ferris Bueller on, and then we'll jump into the Q&As where people, and any of you in the Q&As that have asked a question there but would like to be brought on live, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll come to you.
Oh, that's how that works. It says answer.
Yeah, so the Q&A down below. So there's the Q&A. We've got 8 questions, and now they're starting to pop in. So if you put a question down there, I'll go in and find them. But if you want to come in and feel like you want to talk to us, go for it. And any of you guys that are on YouTube that want to maybe come over here, is there a way to post the Zoom link in YouTube, or do they know where it's at?
They keep asking me for it, but I was trying to keep it secret. Here, I'll post it in the comments real quick. So give me a little bit.
Yeah, so you go ahead and release Ferris Bueller, and while you're releasing him, I'll take the Zoom. I won't take the Zoom link because my link will make him a panelist. So that won't work. So you'll have to send the other one. Okay. Bueller.
Yo.
Bueller.
Am I being heard?
You are being heard, yes.
Awesome. What's up, Game? Rick, it is such an honor and a pleasure to be talking to you guys. I just wanted to say off the bat. So I have talked with a manager before, just communication, Dennis Shin, if you've ever heard of him. He's a really cool guy, and he was telling me about his experiences with a man named Sean and how he used to scam up-and-coming artists into investing into his management business, and then basically he would take the money that he gives them. And I was just wondering if you could provide some insight onto the things to avoid and like red flags.
Yeah. So the thing too is that a lot of times, guys, Google is a very powerful tool. Do your research. Unfortunately, there are people out there that are great marketers, and they will go out and tell you all the things that you want to hear. If anyone ever comes to you and their plan is, we're going to go in the studio and we're going to record an expensive album and then I'm going to go shop you to labels, run. That's not the way the world happens anymore. Right now, the labels are looking for you, and they're finding you on Spotify. They're finding you on Instagram. When you create the buzz, they will find you. They have people to go out and find you. If people want you to help support that's just, it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It's also too, here's the thing. Sometimes if you look at your following, and now here's where you have to be honest with yourself. If you're just getting started, you've never played shows, you don't have any music that's up on Spotify, you haven't done anything to make a spark, and their first thing is, we're going to go in and shop you to labels, they're morons, because a label is not going to even let them in the door with you right now. So you need to focus on those things first. Labels are looking for small businesses to invest in. Okay, perfect example, Florida Georgia Line. Florida Georgia Line had the best management company. They had the biggest, songwriter that they had going, and they went and they did this showcase, and all the industry people came out and were like, man, you can't understand a word those guys say. The music's really different. They smell like weed. They don't look like stars. And all I was doing, I was at that same showcase. I was watching the girls in the front of the audience singing along to that song, Cruise. So I, at the time, was working with Live Nation on the merchandise side. So I signed them to a merchandise deal. So they went out and they put their own song out on iTunes. 8 months later, had 100,000 downloads. The lyrics didn't change. The melody didn't change. They still smelled like pot. You still couldn't understand a word they said. But the perception was, now there's something that we can get a hold of. Because that's all the labels. The labels are not designed to launch artists anymore. Now they're designed to help businesses grow. From the ground up, they don't have the time. That's why, because the internet came along and said, hey, there's all these people with talent. There's all these people that are doing all this stuff. Why don't we take one of them? They've already proven the concept that it works. So, yeah, just be very careful. Do your research. Don't be afraid to ask for references. If somebody's coming in charging $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year to manage you right now, go look at the other artists they're managing and see if that's the kind of career you want, or take a look at some of the other artists' websites and socials and see if that's what you want. We have a really good scam going on in Nashville right now where they write a really good email, but when you go to their website, it looks like it's from 1990, and you look at their artist and they look like they're from 1990. So I don't care what somebody writes. Go see what's actually happening in their space and don't get drawn into that crap.
Man, that was priceless. Everything you said was priceless. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Go make a donation on our behalf to some charity.
Hell yeah.
All right, see ya.
I thought you were going to joke with this fair.
Change role to attendee.
Yeah, I won't kick you out. My bad. All right.
That's funny.
Oh, he did it himself. Awesome. There you go. Cool. Shout out to Ferris for. Wait, how are you still on the screen? But
you have to take them away, and then you go to MT.
Oh, hide non-panelists. Oops. Give me a second, guys.
That's okay.
Non-video. There we go. Okay.
And then Marco. It's fine if he's there.
Anyway, MT.
Yeah.
Oh, where did MT go? MT, raise your hand again.
Yeah, Marco.
Wow, MT. Oh, we were just about to pick you on the line, man. Let's go to Marco.
Marco wrote like a biography in here. Marco's got like a bunch of questions.
Did it work? I promoted Marco, but he's not.
He's coming. Takes a second.
Oh, okay.
And then if you go to Ferris, you can put change role to attendee.
Why is this not? It says promote to panelist.
No. There he goes. He's gone. What up, Marco? Go down to the bottom and turn on your microphone, bro. Down at the bottom left. Click on, and then we'll see a little microphone show up. That lets us know your microphone is on, and then we can unmute. Hey.
Yeah, no.
Got you. You're in.
Cool. Who do you think I should really align with in this industry?
That's a wide open question.
I know.
So align, what do you mean by align?
Well, obviously you can't do everything at once. You got to put yourself in a field of view with a lot of people that you can trust that know a bunch of different things, because you can't do everything on your own.
Correct.
It's just the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as a manager, who else would you want to work with that could actually benefit yourself, your artist, and the team around you?
So I have, in my thing, I had somebody who was a creative person who would be able to take content and create social posts and things out of that. For a lot of artists, I think at some point, that's the person that you should have, that you want to be able to be the one in the content, but you don't want to be spending all day having to post the content. Some of you in the beginning will, and I have a whole social media course teaching you how to break that down and how to do it so you don't have to spend all day, how to do it in under an hour a day. But you need somebody that can help get your message that's out there. You also need to surround yourself with somebody who isn't afraid to call you out. You need to make sure that if you trust each other and everyone's got the same goals, then you want to have that devil's advocate person in your camp. Too often people surround themselves with a bunch of people that just kiss their butt. You do not want to surround yourself. Yeah, it's dangerous. But you got to remember, so what's your job every day right now is to get your content out into the world, right?
Correct.
Okay, so one, we need content. So you need to make sure that they're delivering that. You need to make sure that you've got somebody who can take that content and create posts for all the different platforms, places that you can be heard. You want to make sure that you're taking a look at your Spotify numbers, that you're seeing what we can do to drive those numbers. There's just a lot of different things. You need that analytical person. And sometimes you have to be at all. You know, it's like in every business, there's a book called Rocket Fuel. And what Rocket Fuel says is everyone starts out, there's the visionary and the integrator. In most businesses, we're both. Like right now, I can guarantee you, Carlin, are you going by Carlin or Game? What are you tonight?
It's whatever people know me as.
All right. So Carlin is both the creative, the visionary, but he's also the integrator, the person who has to implement it. And then what he's going to do is he's going to start branching that off for other people. My business was the same way. So I needed somebody who could come in and take my crazy ideas and create processes for my team to be able to follow. Also, too, there's virtual assistants that you can get by going up to places like Upwork and things like that work in different countries while we're sleeping, that you can pay $4 or $5 American to. And in their country, it's like $13 or $15. And they can do a lot of stuff in the middle of the night, like make sure that any Instagram messages need to be in your inbox in the morning so you can go in and do that. So you need that organizational person. So you need a big picture strategy person. That's usually the manager. You need somebody who can help create and do those things. And then you need other people to help you implement it.
Love that.
That would be the short list right now. I mean, we could do a whole webinar on this itself, or, you know, you could invest and get somebody that could mentor you and help you become a better, you know what I mean? It's like somebody who always done that as well. A lot of us don't want to go spend $150,000 at a music degree and get a degree on theory. You know, half those people haven't even worked in the end. Yeah. So that's what, and the cool part for me, and I'm full disclosure, full transparency, as long as people keep having babies that want to be famous, I never run out of a potential market. You know, I never run out of a potential client. So what I have to do is my podcast, my YouTube video. It's like Carlin sells his programs and courses because of all the free stuff that he puts out there. So the way I look at it is his YouTube video is his single, his course is his album. My podcast is my single, my course is my album. So every day we're putting out songs, we're putting out content. And here's the part that sucks for all of you is that the world does not have to pay to consume your product. Think about what other businesses could stay in business if nobody had to pay for their stuff. But so what are people investing in? The relationship. That's where she won. Okay, the relationship. So every day your content should not be just promoting yourself, but building a relationship. So what can you do to get involved in as many conversations and bring value to that conversation? And when the time is right, you see somebody on a chat that is heartbroken and you're like, you know what? I know exactly how you're feeling. I lost my mom and that's what inspired this song that I wrote. But don't put a link to the song. Let that person come back and go, oh my gosh, thank you. You wrote a song. I would love to hear it. King money. Now it's money. You know what I mean? But instead, we're like, we're all in. It's like, I mean, how many DMs I get where somebody just sends me a YouTube video? I'm like, how about a hello? How about, hi, I'm so-and-so. It's just, we randomly, so my job is to try to teach all of you guys is to stop being a part of the noise. You want to stick out for the right reasons. And that's by getting content out in the world that brings value to the end user. It's not about us. Once we decide we want to make money and there's commerce that's involved, we have to make sure that the person on the other end of that feels that they're part of that exchange. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I say it like this. I'm like, I don't have a technical boss, but the people are my boss.
Yeah, and I think, Marco, you said this too, and this is a point I want to bring up immediately. Isn't drugs and alcohol part of the culture, though? Not if you don't want it to be.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You're right.
It's like no one's ever forced me to smoke weed. I mean, I just left the Rock Nation party and I was over there in the label and hanging out with Rel, and, you know, there was no weed smoking going on. There was nothing. It was all business. You guys just see that the people that are making money in this business, they're not the knuckleheads, dude. That they are the flat out business people. They are the one. Exactly. Now that may be a part of the culture, but you know, smoke weed. Shit, it's legal in half the places if that's something that you want to do. But I don't think that. I think that sometimes we fall into that. If that's not who you are, then you don't have to go there. And right now, here's the cool part. It's 2020. It's cool to be sober. In the 80s, it wasn't. In the 80s, they had budgets at the record companies for cocaine. I know, because I'm the one who sold it to them. So, I mean, it's like, this isn't the way it is now. I brought them the strippers and the drugs. That's what they all wanted, the hair bands in the 80s. I was an entrepreneur. I told you that. But that was the culture. But then now that's not the culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think Common's out there smoking crack right now, you know, and abusing people and doing all that stuff. And he's got a pretty cool career.
True. And I'll even let you guys know, kind of insider talk, just how people in the music industry, I guess, think, because they're business owners who are trying to protect their money. I'll be vague, but it's like somebody who owns real estate in the music industry. And he's like, I don't want anybody here who even indulges in the marijuana thing or the weed thing. He's like, I don't want that kind of crowd here. And he controls who comes into the studio. So it just shows like there's another side.
Last thing, and then Marco, we're going to move on to somebody else. And you definitely go to managemymusiccareer.com. You'll learn a ton in that. It's golden. I put a lot of time and energy in that. You said, is there a different strategy for different genres? The strategy is still the same. Find a hungry audience and feed that audience. The relationships are different in different genres. The platforms that you might use with social media are different when it comes to genres. But remember, you're managing an artist, not a genre. Okay, so be nice to people is the same no matter what genre you are. Create great stuff is the same no matter what genre you are. Showing up every day on socials, providing value, the same no matter what genre you are. It's the deliverability sometimes that's different, and the type of merchandise that you can offer and things like that. But as far as the overall general, genre isn't important anymore.
Thank you for the advice.
Awesome, brother. Take care.
You too.
There he is. All right.
Woo, we got tons of hands up over here. Boom, you nailed it first time.
Yeah, there he is. Had to get him before he left. Okay. Okay, now we got a ton of people in here. Okay, who do you want to grab?
Go to Mr. Montrell.
Mr. Montrell. There's so many names. Hold on one sec.
Scroll to the top and you can see it. And then I'll go in and dismiss some of this other stuff. And then you just unmute them and you're set.
Oh, there we go. Unmute. Can you hear us? Hello? Promote to panelists. Okay, I'm slow. Okay. Getting the hang of this thing.
He's gone.
Oh, he left? No. Oh, there he is.
There he is. You there? Montrell.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I want to make a quick note before we get into you. What's up, Montrell? We have over 220 folks combined here. We have 200 on YouTube and then 40 in the room. So that's a lot.
Cool.
All right. Just letting you know.
You see me?
We can't see you and you're very distorted.
Oh, man.
Now you're better. Now that's good. Whatever you just did, keep that.
Okay. How do I, what about
You go to the bottom and put start video.
start video? Okay.
There you are.
We are.
There he is.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, getting better. I think you saw my post.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you talk it though. There's a lot of posts now, so
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm called to and commissioned to major work in music, you know, and you know, I'm gonna become the label, the artist, the producer. I mean, I can do it all, you know, singer, songwriter, all that. So I'm at the beginning of this journey. So, you know, what advice could you give as far as, you know, directing this path and, you know, even accelerating the process?
well, the thing is the way you speed up any process is with knowledge. As that's the only way you can speed things up. There are no secrets to success. There are no magic pills. There are no shortcuts to success. What you want to speed up is your learning curve. What you want to do is not sit around and spend. It's like if I can, and I said this to Carlin when I met him, I said, I can either spend the next month trying to figure out everything that you've done, or I can hire you for the day and spend the day with you and pay you for your time for that day to learn it all in one day. So I like to go speed up the process of the learning. The key with everything is to get the music right, period. It all starts with the music. I can teach you all the social strategies. I can make all the relationships and open up all the doors. But if the music isn't right, it doesn't matter. Stay on that process first. Make sure you've got the music right. Start putting it out there. See if people are sharing it. See if people are commenting to it. See if kids are making TikToks out of it. Just get that stuff out into the marketplace to know what you have first. Mm-hmm. And then you start going after that. Okay. But get the music right.
Now, as far as, because I've been to the Musicians Institute music business program, been that route. The Musicians Institute in Hollywood?
I do.
You familiar with it? Yeah. So like I said, I didn't even finish the program because I saw that there's a faster way to learn it online. I mean, I can put most of the stuff that's being taught. It's like,
yep.
And listen to Busy Works Beats. Thanks so much.
There you go.
Everything you do, for real.
Oh, yeah. You're the man.
And I want to connect with you on your vision as well. But
thank you.
I want to know, is there any advice that you could give to a person who's on a spiritual path,
stay on that path.
Right. I mean, as far as just some key advice that can help with building, if you're planning on building,
So the key advice with any path that you're on is to make sure that you surround yourself with like-minded people. Make sure that the folks that you're surrounding yourself have the same goal. Start at the goal and work backwards. Make sure that you stay focused. It's like a lot of times we'll get off our path because we think that that's somebody wants us to be. I'm true to me. I would tell people, I'm not for everyone. I'm like sushi. I'm an acquired taste. If somebody wants to be famous, I'm the wrong dude. If somebody just thinks that they show up with one song, and I know I need the worker, I need the hustler, I need the person that's willing to get punched in the face. I need the person that can take instruction. I need the person that is willing to do whatever it takes. If they say they want something, their actions better back their words. Because there's a lot of talk out there. There's less action backing the words. There's a lot of people doing a lot of talk. So you don't have to get off your spiritual path as long as you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and those are that. You can go find people online. You can go find Facebook groups of Christian rappers. There's a Facebook group for everything. The commercial isn't lying. You can make sure that you're playing where you're supposed to play and you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, but don't sway from that ever.
No, of course. And I've been on, the entrepreneurial path, making it happen.
Yeah. That's why you're here on a Friday night with us.
Exactly.
Your actions match your words.
As a manager, because I have artists reaching out to me,
sure,
their manager. What's one of the artists in Canada, and she's a good artist, and I said to her kind of what you said, like, you're really not ready for a manager yet.
Yep.
But hone your craft and stuff like that. When it comes to managing artists that are in different genres than what you're working in,
sure,
it's gonna require you to maybe get in some of the atmospheres that you're not.
That's if you're wanting to do personal and day-to-day management. And quite honestly, if somebody can't afford you right now, I wouldn't get into day-to-day management. There's no money in it, and a lot of work and a lot of frustration. For me, I'm big picture, strategy, goals, all that stuff. But then when it's right, I can pick up the phone, and I may not be able to call the president of a hip hop label, but I can call someone who works at that label. You know what I mean? It's like the internet allows us to get to whoever we want to get to today. The problem is we're getting to them too early. So they put up roadblocks. They put up gatekeepers. They put up barriers because they're getting hammered day in and day out and day in and day out. So that's where we go and we start networking with people. That's where you go and shoot a DM to somebody on Instagram and say, hey, big fan of your label. Love the work that you did with so-and-so artist. My name's Montrell Edwards. I represent an artist. Can you tell me what your submission policy is? I think she'd, and then stop there. It's like, don't sell us. Everyone wants to buy. No one wants to be sold to. What I want to see is that the person that's representing her is professional, because I'm also going to be dealing with you. I want to see that the person representing her understands the business, because I'm also going to be working with them. So the more you can educate yourself on the business, and the more that you don't take on, if you're going to try to do personal and day-to-day management, you can only handle 1 to 2 artists at the most. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's it. That's why I gave it up, because I could only help 3, or I could help thousands. My goal is to help thousands, and I can help thousands by getting rid of the stuff that I'm not good at, by getting rid of the stuff that I don't like doing and things like that. But when you've got an artist that comes to you and you're going to put your time in every day, you need to be compensated. And too often we would just cross our fingers and say, well, when they get that record deal, then I'll get my percentage. Well, guess what? The signing bonuses today sometimes barely cover the cost of the attorney.
Right.
There are no major signing bonuses anymore. Those $1 million days are gone unless you're, Lil Wayne and you've already sold 1 million records someplace else, or Chance the Rapper, or one of those guys. Those days are gone. On the publishing side, there's still some pretty big deals coming in because people know that the money's in the music right now too. But you've just got to, not say yes to everyone. Be very picky with what you do. Get a couple successes under your belt. Doesn't mean they have to win platinum records or Grammys, but you could take an artist. Because here's the thing that I pride myself in right now. I have many artists that I'm managing in my world that are making over $50,000 a year doing what they love.
Okay.
Do you know there's a lot of people making less than that doing what they hate?
Exactly.
I have artists that are making 6 figures because they've built the audience and they've done it. I have people making $5,000 a month doing Instagram lives and Facebook lives with a virtual tip jar. There's so many different ways that people can make money today that we just got to make sure that you've got something that the people want. Okay, that's the key for all of you. Make sure you have something that the people want. Even if on the creative side, do people want it? Are they sharing it? If not, go back to the drawing board. Get back in the studio. Get back to creating. But get something that people want.
So last question. What was the biggest challenge that you ran into managing Taylor Swift, who's a big artist,
Yeah, well, when I was with Taylor was still in the country music side of things. So the biggest problem that I ran into at the time was that I couldn't be in more places than once. Her demand was starting to get so big, and we were accustomed to doing these after show signings for like 3.5 hours. And then we had to stop that. So constantly trying to find creative ways to let the fans know that they still had access to her while eliminating access at the same exact time, if that makes sense. So it's like, if we couldn't see them here, where could we show up here? If we couldn't meet 1,000 people, where could we meet 100 that made it feel like it was 1,000? Yeah. I wish I had the tools that you guys all have today with social media. Back when I was managing Taylor, she'd be even bigger than she is today. Back then we had MySpace and a half a Facebook page because her and I weren't in college yet, and we had to borrow her fiddle player's Facebook page just to go on there and start meeting people. And then YouTube came along, and then I was out at that point. I gave my notice in 2008, and then a year later, she ends up going into the pop world. So if we had those tools back then, but that's the thing. You learn how to use the tools that you guys have available today. There are no excuses on why you can't go find 500, 600 people in the world and give them an opportunity to spend 40 or $50 with you every year.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Be good.
Awesome. Yeah, I like this format. It's pretty intimate. I didn't realize it was this easy either. So
well, that's how I do my coaching is on this. I do management sessions once a week. We'll have 80 people on here, and they send their questions in ahead of time in case I need to do some research, and they come in. A lot of people just come and listen and learn, which is great.
Dope. I used to do this on Discord, and it got so messy. So I'm going to try this. Anyway, who do you want to?
Yeah, you can just go. We'll get Frank real quick. Frank was on my session last night. So
there you go. Let's see. Frank Aguya. How you say your last name?
Undo your mic. Frank, unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me now? Hey.
Hey.
Yep, I got the porcelains in today as well.
Good. All right. Got them pretty teeth. He had a little space yesterday.
Yeah, I know it. So I know you mentioned licensing. Which would you recommend, ASCAP or BMI?
Yes.
Or are they just different?
Yeah, they're the only two that you have the option to sign up for. I just go to my Instagram page. Gabe at Legion Beach just shared a great thing comparing the two, ASCAP and BMI. It's in my Instagram stories.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and you can just go on and see if you can take a meeting with either one of them and see which one you feel good about.
Awesome. Well, I'm registered through BMI right now. I just wasn't too sure if
stay there.
Would be
not a big enough. You're not a big enough deal yet to make the move. No. When you start making money, ASCAP may come over and offer you an advance to switch, but you only get a chance to switch once a year. So it's not like you can leave at any time. There's a date that's attached to each of you. So yeah, you want to.
Okay, I wasn't too sure how that worked because I'm still kind of new to that.
Yeah, just enjoy BMI for the time being. Get your music registered properly. Don't forget about Sound Exchange.
Awesome. And then What would developing a strong EPK or one sheet look like to you as a manager?
As an electronic press kit is what EPK stands for those that don't know. I want to be able to see you, hear you. It depends on what you're using it for. If you're trying to get shows, I want to see, references and testimonials from other people. I want to see some live stuff. If you've got a set list, if you do covers, put some set list of what the covers and things that you do, but make sure you got high quality images that they can download for show posters and things like that. And make sure that they can go see what your social activity is all about.
Awesome. You answered. As always, this is why I get paid the big bucks, my man.
One day, maybe you'll throw me $1.
Mate, I got to get the implants in.
We're getting close. I know.
We're getting close.
We're getting there. All right, buddy.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, be good. All right.
Invisalign, we got the.
Yeah, we're all about the teeth tonight, man, because we ain't got pretty face like you, so we got to work at it.
I had to get Invisalign. I love Invisalign. The retainers is the best part. Lifetime. We got Yosef Valander. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I have a question. I actually posted it in the chat.
Okay.
I don't know.
You can go ahead and just ask it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm a producer and songwriter in Sweden. I live in Sweden. And I'm just wondering if I don't want to pursue a career as an artist, what do I do to get noticed? Whatever that means.
So what are you wanting to pursue a career as? Are you wanting to find singers to sing to your produced tracks?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, then what I would be doing right now is, just give me an idea of an artist that you would love to sing on your track.
Like a famous artist?
Sure.
I can give you an example, but
that's what I'm asking for.
Yeah, so like Taylor Swift.
Okay, so Taylor Swift's probably not going to sing on your record just yet. Okay.
No, not yet.
So you're going to go to YouTube. You're going to go to YouTube and you're going to type in Taylor Swift covers, and you're going to find millions of girls that sound just as good as Taylor Swift singing Taylor Swift covers. And then you're going to go in and you're going to start doing your research, and you're going to say, okay, this one's already got a Spotify channel. Wait, this one's really good, but she doesn't have any of her own original material. And you're going to go leave a compliment and a comment on her YouTube channel and say, loved your cover of so-and-so. That's first date. Okay. You're not going to try to get laid on the first date. So first date, you're just going to leave a compliment. Okay. Yeah. Then you're going to go check out her Instagram page, and you're going to leave a comment over on her Instagram page. And that's second date. Then you're going to come back and you're going to DM her, and you're going to say, hey, been following your stuff. Love your YouTube channel. Love what you've been posting up on Instagram and TikTok. Are you ever looking for original material? And she's either going to say yes or no. And when she says yes, now you're at third base, and now you can start having a conversation on you teaching her how to lay down vocals, whatever town she happens to be in, uploading them to you so that you could fly them into your track and whatever it is you're doing. And now she's got original music, and now she starts getting the Spotify traction. And now some label starts going, okay, who's this girl? We love the tracks. Who's your producer? And now all of a sudden one day, maybe Taylor Swift calls and she wants to work with you. The problem is if you guys as the producers are out there thinking that Drake and Kanye and all these people, that's what you're waiting for. No, you go find that person that's at your level, and you guys come up together. But go find, that's how I would go out and research those people. And you could go find the Ariana Grandes, you could find Camila Cabello, just Camila Cabello covers. There's a lot of kids out there that are already hustling, that are already doing the work, that are going to beat stores and buying beats so that they can sing over it, that 19 other people bought the same damn beat, and you can bring original content material to them.
Okay.
Now I got your wheels turning. I can already see it.
Yeah.
All right.
That was actually, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Dope, man. Thank you. Oh, let me do my job. Sorry.
Hey, I hope this is serving you guys. I can't see any of the comments on YouTube. I hope we're serving you guys the best way that we can.
Oh, yeah, we got 200.
We're just doing our best.
200 folks on YouTube, and they're saying gems, giving us free gems all the time. A lot of stuff.
Got it.
So it's a lot of comments. I can't even monitor. There's so many.
No, that's fine. And guys, if anybody wants to know more about me, go to rickbarker.com or hit me up on Instagram at rickbarkermusic. Let me know that this is where you found me from my boy Busy.
Yeah, drop that line.
Devin, unmute yourself.
right, here we go.
There we go.
Check.
Check.
Davin, you there?
You might could
Can you
check
hear
a
me?
1, 2. You're in. Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
There we go.
There we is.
All right, cool.
Copy my swag, man. No, I'm just
Dude, I mean, what's up with the light battle going on right now?
Red versus pink. How you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm pretty good, man. See, I've been in the music scenery my whole life. I'm actually 23, but I do all genre music. I don't know if one of either of y'all might have. I'm a producer and engineer, and I used to engineer for Maximilian.
Okay.
If either one of y'all probably heard of him.
Yep.
That's what I used to engineer for. By me being so young, so I know I got the talent to be able to engineer for him. But me, I'm more of a producer. I like to produce too. But I want to know, how can I get my music out there to actually be, known and be heard and be just to be able to get placements.
Well, here's the thing. It's a process. The thing is, you can get heard today. You can get known by whoever's going to know you today. The problem that most people do is that you push it out there, and that's called push marketing. You just hope that something happens. You just throw it out there and you hope that something happens. I like to take better control of that. I like to go and run ads. I'll spend a little money on some Facebook ads to make sure that my stuff's being seen by the right people. So doing the whole all genre thing, I don't recommend that. I think there's riches in the niches, man. You need to find out what you're the best at. Because if I go to somebody and they say I'm the best at everything, I'm not hiring them because I know they're not. I want to know who's the best at blank. Who's the best at blank? You may have some style that creates a signature sound. So create yourself a SoundCloud page. Get your beats out there. Start posting them on your socials. Start doing whatever you can to just let your music be heard. That's on you.
Yes, sir.
That's not on anyone else but you.
And now that you said something about the SoundCloud and the YouTube, I did start me a SoundCloud and a YouTube, but the reason I said all genre, because I'm an actual kind of musician when it comes to like playing, but my main when producing is mainly hip hop and R&B.
Okay, so then you need to showcase your hip hop and your R&B.
Right.
And here's the thing. Just because you have a YouTube channel, no one's searching for you yet. Go look at the titles on Busy's YouTube channel. They don't say Carlin Hines teaches you the 808 drum pattern. He puts in words that people are searching for. Okay, it's a search engine. Okay, that just happens to be a place where you can see video, but people have to be typing that stuff in. So what I'm doing is I'm uploading the same stuff and telling my artists, you upload it to Facebook, you upload it to Instagram, you upload it anywhere that you can, and then you drive traffic to it. But no one's out looking for you right now. You have to look for them. Does it make sense?
Yeah, make real good sense, especially when you said, because I did notice, and that's how I first discovered busy work, from a phrase that I put in.
There you go. That's how it works. It did its job.
So it's all about the brain cells working.
It is. And the thing, too.
It's all about the brain cells working to try to grab attention at the same time, too.
It is. It's like the thing is that people want what they want when they want it. Now, they're not good. If we're trying to interrupt their day with an unfamiliar person with a 3.5-minute song and they're scrolling through Facebook and you happen to show up, they're just going to keep on scrolling. Why? Because they don't know you. They may only have 15 minutes. So we have to go out and get known. I'm going to also put in a thing. If you guys go to socialmediaformusic.com, I've got a whole 43-minute on what you guys need to do with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I show you guys how to take your Instagram stories and turn it into a radio station where you get paid every single day. So that's a free training. You can go watch it. If you decide you want to learn more, I have a program. It's like $97. That's everything I know up to this point if you want it. But you guys go out there and learn the tools. It's like just because a new keyboard shows up, I don't know how to play a keyboard. So it's not going to do me any good. I'm going to have to go out and learn how to do it. And then I'm going to but don't be afraid to learn all this digital marketing. Everybody watching right now, wherever you are, YouTube, Zoom, raise your right hand and repeat after me. Devin, raise your hand. I am a digital marketer.
A digital marketer.
That's where the world is, man. It's like we can't fight it anymore. You guys need to spend more time instead of buying equipment. Start learning digital marketing. That's the key right now. It really is. It's like, where are these people and how do we go find them? How do we go find them? You got it, brother. I appreciate you, and I look forward to hearing your stuff. Hit me up, DM me on Instagram.
All right.
And here's the thing, guys. DM me a link. Don't DM me and say, hey, go check out my YouTube channel. Make it real easy for people. A lot of times I get that and I'm like, oh, you're killing me. You had my attention. And now I'm going to the next person. So there we go.
That happened in my email today. I was like, send links. I'm not going to search.
And don't send MP3s. We don't. So yeah. And here's the thing too, just so you guys know, major labels, major management companies, if you send in an email with an attachment that's got a WAV file or an MP3, they will not open it. They expect you to know that we're in the streaming world right now. You can go take a SoundCloud page and make it private and have like a list or whatever you want, but do not send attachments. They won't open them. We're now back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Insider. Cole, can you hear me? Did Cole go to sleep on us? Cole, you got 3 seconds. 3, 2. Cole, we gotta pick.
Well, Cole had a question inside the thing, so let me go get it. I'm new to producing. What's the best program I can use to produce? I'm currently using FL Studio 20 trial. That's your question. I don't know.
What was the beginning part? The trials.
I am new to producing. What is the best program I can use to produce? I'm currently using FL Studio 20 trial edition.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. I was in a room in Hollywood with a room of producers who had 10 billion plus streams, and they were all using FL Studio. So that's just the wave right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
There you go, Cole.
There you go. FL Studio. Let's get SoundSlinger because he's very he's in it. It's gonna.
I love his logo right already. Hey, is that available on a T-shirt?
We'll see. Because I know he runs a business, so let's see what he has to say. SoundSlinger, you there?
Go down to the bottom left. All you guys go down to the bottom left, and there'll be a microphone, and just enable your mic. There you come.
Give Cole enough time.
Got it.
I'm sorry, Cole.
Slinger, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. You got that in a T-shirt?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I need an extra large. You got an extra large?
Always. What's up, game, my baby?
What's going on?
I don't see no video.
Yeah, you got to go down and put start video.
Where at?
Down the bottom left.
3 arrows?
Yeah, there's some arrows. You click on one, it'll say start video.
All right, let me check it out. Cause I'm in the studio right now.
All right.
All I see is stop video.
No, there should be click that arrow and it'll say start.
I see stop video. I see
stop video and then start it again. Maybe it needs to reset.
Oh yeah, I think I clicked some.
He should be good.
No,
all right, we kept seeing your image, so.
Yeah, I just clicked it, but I don't see myself. Maybe
is there anything covering your? Maybe you had that thing covered up so the government couldn't look in on you.
No, I got it's probably because I got like a 3-4 cameras set up.
Yeah, that's what it is. You have to pick the camera you want to use.
It's not showing me. How do I pick the camera?
Go so right beside stop video. There's an arrow that's pointing up. Click on it, and it'll say select a camera.
I see that.
Mm-hmm. And if you have another application that's using your camera, you have to deactivate it on.
There he is. Puff the Magic Dragon right there. There he is.
I'm off that hookah, but I ain't
the presenter with the smoke.
I love it, man. He walked out of his own the curtain, the rope, and he just walked.
Come on, Game, man. Come on now, Game, my dude, man. I've been messing with Game for a minute, following Game for a minute. Man. That's my guy. But my question is this: I'm 48 years old.
Okay.
I have multiple recording studios. I have 2 home-based and 1 commercial building. I was thinking about getting into management because I have a bunch. Every artist that come to me wants me to manage them. Do y'all think that I should step into that lane or just leave that lane alone?
Here's what I would do, honestly, with the facilities and stuff that you have. I would get into the workshop space, and I would host like 10 workshops a year. and I would and all of them be on a different subject and charge. That's kind of what we're doing with the culture tour with Rel Carter from Rock Nation. Is we're going around and we're doing these events, and a lot of them they were doing in the studios. So what I would do is I wouldn't try to manage all these people. I would get paid for educating them, and I would give them because we all know the progression. Maybe if it's even like a series, like today we're bringing in the entertainment attorney, and you guys are going to come in and you're going to understand that part, and it's $47, and everybody who joins the VIP for $100, I'll also give you a critique on a song or something like that. You can have $20,000 to $30,000 weekends by providing a valuable service and not having to take on the day-to-day responsibilities of managing these artists. And then if one of them hits, then you bring them in to your world. You see what I'm saying? Is if somebody you meet, like maybe you decide to collect a bunch of music and then put out a compilation CD based on all the different people that you found, and then you put that up on TuneCore, DistroKid, and you manage them in that capacity. You see what I'm saying? But I would treat it more like a business and not the headache.
So you saying don't? Because like I do have the money to like manage a few people. And
but why would you want to? What when you say manage a few people? What are you hoping to do for them, and why would you want to spend your money?
That's the thing. That's what I'm confused on. That's why I'm asking the question. Should I spend my money on? Because I'm from Detroit, and these rappers in Detroit, they're different from everywhere else. They like to make a lot of music to just play in their car and listen to.
Sure.
Me, I'm trying to go to if I do find an artist I want to manage, I want to take it to the next level.
Yeah. So what you have to, that's a great way to look at it. And that's why it's like, if you take on, let's say you take on 3, he blew so much smoke, it went wide on him. There. Yeah.
I'm in the studio smoking the hookah.
No, I got you. But it just went solid white, which was pretty funny. It was like you just completely disappeared. So it's like, if think about how long it's going to take. So if you find an artist today and you like what he has, what's going to happen is you're going to have to create all the music, which you're more than capable of doing. You're going to have to get that music out into the world, see if the world starts really responding and reacting to it. Then you're going to have to get them out touring or doing whatever the case may be. Now you're 52. And then you know what I mean? It's like for where you are right now, I would find somebody who's already on the up and see if they need an investor.
I respect what you're saying, because about 10 years ago, I had a label. I had a record label, and I had 15 artists to it. And I did get somebody did try to give me $1 million deal for distribution deal.
Yep.
I turned it down because I'm thinking, like, I got 15 artists with $1 million. I can't spread that out with everybody.
No, you can. And the thing is that you're a business person. So it's like, what I would feel is you're never going today, unless somebody really hits it and is touring, you're never going to make your money back off their streams. So let's look at that part first. If they don't have an audience and you're starting them from scratch because you fell in love with the music that you guys created, who's buying their T-shirts? Who's buying their tickets? All the money's made on tour.
I don't fall in love with the music because I'm 48 years old. I've been doing music for so long that I'm not going to fall in love with it, because it takes more than just fall in love with a song or a couple of verses. It takes a lot.
It's the whole package today, and that's why I think that right now is that my job. Yeah, I could walk away right now and go manage one artist and make $1 million, or my goal is to manage hundreds of artists and still make $1 million. So it's like I would rather take less pressure off of them to have to produce in order for me to make my living. Because for me to make $1 million with one artist, they have to make about 12 million.
Yeah. So
and that's hard. And that's hard for them today. What's that?
Question for you: do you think I should just stick to what I'm doing? Because I'm making about $3,000-$4,000 a week off of just recording artists.
I think stay with what you're doing, but I also think, because I can hear that you have a giving heart and that you're wanting to help these kids because they don't know, is I would go the workshop route. I would create opportunities for them to get into your world, and one of them, the cream is going to rise to the top. Somebody's going to show themselves, and that's going to be the one that you maybe take a little bit more of an investment in. But you're going to waste a lot of time. Let them earn the right for you to make that investment in them. So bring the kids, see who's showing up, see who's getting better, see who's doing this. But to grab an artist from ground zero right now and cross your fingers, 98% of artists that get signed to major labels, which is the only way you're going to make money, get dropped. Only 2% win. I don't like the odds.
Because I've been in that situation like 10 years ago when I had the 15 artists and I gave them all free studio time, free beats, free everything. And I lost from that.
Yep, I lost too. I know exactly what you're saying. So right now, let them invest in themselves a little bit of money. Let the cream rise to the top. Pick the one that you think might work, and then that's the person that you could do some additional investing in.
I appreciate that advice.
I hope that served you.
It did.
All right, I want that extra large shirt. You DM me where I got to send the check, or PayPal or Venmo. I'll send it.
I got you. What's up, my baby?
I don't want nothing for free. I'll pay for it. So you tell me what I got to do.
No, I do anything for free, man. I already got a few dollars, so I don't charge people for anything.
Hey, no worries. I'll wear it well. Like, here's my buddy Manifest right now.
You know what I charge people for? Studio time and mixing and mastering.
That you go. As it should be.
I say go watch game if you want to learn something. Well,
there you go, brother. Be good. All right.
Wait, sounds like I want to offer.
Yes.
He's doing what I get. The difference is I have the infrastructure. So, for example, I'm going to be attracting all the talent and all the people. The difference is I have distribution. I have ways to turn a singer into money because I can show people how to mix her vocals or how to put out sample packs with the singer. I can monetize them right away versus just the music side. So I think your only missing component is, do you have your own infrastructure on how to monetize right now?
Actually, to be honest, I actually don't. That's why I asked the question. And then I'm a little confused on, should I even step into that world or just stay in the lane that I'm in?
I think you're winning in your lane right now. It would have to be something real special that comes along that you see that you can skip the line.
And actually, to be honest, I don't see nothing that's just making me want to just go grab him.
And you've just answered your own question.
Exactly.
You got some validation from us, but you answered your own question.
I respect that.
That's what counseling's all about. That's like therapy. We already know. We just want to hear it from somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
I'll DM you. And do you know Payroll Giovanni real quick?
Yes. I do.
Oh my God, I love that sound.
Man. You know, I've been in the business for a long time, man. You know, I know everybody, deal with everybody. Man, but I basically just focused on my recording studios, mixing and mastering. But I was thinking, should I take some of these artists and try to take them somewhere else, which would take a lot of time from me.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to DM you because I have a cool thought process of how I'm gonna do my future studio that I have coming.
Let's get it.
I'll share those ideas.
I watched that video too.
Oh, you saw? Okay, dope.
Yeah,
okay.
I watched that.
So I'm gonna break it down for you as far as my ideas because I didn't make it public just yet, but I'm gonna let you know.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Nice seeing you for the first time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I send everybody to you.
You're the man. I love you, man. All right, I'm
love you too, man.
Swap it out. Peace out, bro.
All right, I'm going to answer something from here real quick. The Art XST says, how early should artists get a manager? I feel when you start realizing that this is a business and you want to not make a bunch of mistakes and lose a lot of money, you need to have somebody helping guide your career. It might be hard to find a manager that wants to come work for you because you may not have anything going on yet where they see that they can monetize, but you need to find a service of some sort in order to learn. And that's why I started my business, is so that I could help as many people in that early role, with the goal is to help them be put in a position to go find a day-to-day manager and be attractive to another manager. It's like all the stuff that you need to learn, you need it now. That's the situation, is you need all this stuff, this knowledge, this education, this infrastructure, setting up your business properly to even be attractive to someone else. So yeah, once it's not a hobby anymore, that's when you need to go out and find a manager. And then this same person said, with Amuse and Level, two independent record label distribution outlets, do you think these platforms will eventually surpass traditional labels? And do you recommend artists subscribe and release through them? All of you guys should be working with these digital distribution companies right now, because they are the ones who get your music out into the world. So there's more music being put out by independent artists than there are by labels right now. So yeah, find one of these companies. They're smart to use them. You found Cole's back. You're giving him another chance.
Yeah, he was begging me. Sorry, yeah. Cole. I didn't realize it took a little bit to load. So Cole, can we hear you now? You say?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yep.
Oh, you're like, yeah, hey, can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you, Cole.
Okay.
Awesome. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. What about you?
Living life, can't complain. We're here to serve you. What's on your mind?
I'm just wondering, do I need to go out and buy like all these fancy instruments and stuff, or can I just use like programs on my computer to make all these sounds and produce and all that?
I guess this is a production question. So in short, the only thing you can't really emulate with a software sound right now is a guitar and saxophone. So if you're trying to make guitar beats, it's not going to sound like the real guitar unless you get a real guitar. Or if your saxophone beats, same exact thing. So every other instrument you can get and play on your keyboard. So that's the quick answer. Look into samplers. Look into things like Contact or Expand 2 or what else?
What genre of music are you? What music do you create?
There's certain types of EDM I make.
Okay. You can do almost all of it on a computer then.
Yeah, it's called electronic.
Yeah.
Electricity made it.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Serum is
funny.
all you need for EDM, and like vocal chops. That's all you need for EDM stuff. Vocal chops and Serum.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome.
Cool, that was easy. Thank you, man. Didn't mean to kick you out
thank
last
you.
time.
MT's back too, by the way. We dumped him earlier, or her.
MT, okay. EMT. I just realized you could search people too. There we
You
go.
can. You can just scroll down in alphabetical order.
Aha.
No, you're driving the car well. You are.
This is dope.
MT, unmute your microphone.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes. All right, we got 190 folks on YouTube.
Dude, you look like the Queen video, Bohemian Rhapsody, where there's just a white dude's face with the black all the way around him.
Man, it's 2:20 a.m. here.
Oh, very nice.
From Germany, man. So,
I
yeah.
was just in Germany.
What?
I did a speaking tour through Europe, and I was in Munich.
That's actually the city I was born in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, my question would be: so I'm a 20-year-old producer, or like in the making. Let me say it like that. And I'm also rapping. And my question would be like, how can I get my music out to the people? Like not only in Germany but into the world.
The internet. You're on it right now.
Yeah, of course. But so my raps are English as well. I'm not making German rap, and so the main audience would be like kind of in the States.
Sure. So what I would do is this. I would put your best material up on Facebook and Instagram, and I would go spend a couple bucks. And when I mean a couple bucks, it could literally be a couple bucks. And I would target people in the United States and Europe who like, because the thing is that you're not touring right now. Okay. So you just want people who like your style of music to find it. So go take Canada, US, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Portugal, Spain, anywhere that's got a good English speaking thing. And then that's where you target that ad of people who like hip hop or get some of your favorite. I'm not gonna just go to how to run Facebook ads on YouTube. And there's lots of things out there, but that's one of the things that we teach in my program is how do we go find that audience? So you would do it through paid ads. If you just post it, you're at the mercy of hoping that somebody finds you. It's that hope marketing again. So I would spend, I did a whole presentation at the DIY Musician Conference a couple years ago on how to run effective Facebook ads for $1 a day and how to build audiences. So that stuff's out there. If you just go search Rick Barker $1 a day Facebook on YouTube, that video will show up. But yeah, you're going to have to run ads and pay for it, but it's not going to be a whole lot.
Okay,
but that's how you find people in specific countries.
Facebook and Instagram ads.
Yep.
Here's a quick way. What's your song that you're trying to get out there?
I just posted beats on my SoundCloud, but I've recorded like 5 or 6 songs.
What's the slash on SoundCloud? What's their slash? Like slash what?
It's MT.
EMTEE.
You mean the song or my SoundCloud profile?
Your SoundCloud profile.
Because we're going to do a song feedback. Here's why I'm asking. We're going to do a song feedback later, and I want you to look for people who do song feedbacks live on YouTube, because that's like a pseudo radio play.
Got
some
it.
people make you pay, some people don't, but I don't make you pay. So what I'll do is I'll play your track later, so that way people can hear your stuff. How about that?
It's all right. Let me just what.
The answer is yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, man.
We'll find you. I'll look you up now. All right.
I can DM you the link to my SoundCloud on Instagram if you want to.
There it is. Just tell me your MT. All right, buddy. We gotta hop on, let other people in, but
yeah, we got a bunch. Cole is asking me a question. Cole, just type it to me. I sent you a private message. Just type me the question and I'll get to it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because
Billy Big Shot Beats is in the house.
In the Zoom, or there's so many people.
I see him in the Zoom, and Wishmaster's here too. I invited him. Wishmaster's here too.
There he is.
That's funny.
Who do you want to let on next?
Who's that? Eric Nyoku?
There we go. Top of the line. Oh wait, his name moved. Give me a second, Eric.
Yeah.
Okay. My mouse scrolled. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Again, total count, we got 37 people in the Zoom, and then 187 in the
a bit shifty. We'll get to you in a second. You've got quite a few questions inside the thing here, so we'll get to you next. Eric, what's up?
Yeah, I'm good.
How are you? What's your question?
Yeah, so I'm a new producer, and I'm just trying to get my sounds. I don't know how to make sounds. Trying to create a right sound, make my right sound, and also put artists in it.
Okay, I'm
gonna turn on my fan. You get this one, Carl.
That was very broad, but as far as sound, I think a lot of people are trying to search for something that they already have. Like I do song feedback almost every Friday, and everybody has a different sound. So maybe it's a myth that people sound similar. Unless you're using the typical Spins 808 or that guitar melody, you're not going to sound like everybody else. So I think you're trying to do something that you already have accomplished, and that's what's confusing people. Chances are 99.99% you already have your own sound.
Right. I know that I have my own. I know I have my own sounds, and I've jumped from Logic.
And you want to know how to get an artist? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I have a lot of sound. I've just been jumping from program to program. I've jumped from Logic to Ableton to MPC just because I've been looking for the right sounds.
Don't overthink it. Also, too, is you sound like you're going to get caught into that just chase. At some point, you need to focus in on what it is that you want to do and go after that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got that, and we all have it, that shiny object syndrome. It's like, here's the next program, and here, like I was watching one of Carlin's YouTube videos earlier. It's like, oh, here's the next plugin, and here's the other cool plugin. And he's like, dude, there's 20 plugins he uses, But a lot of times we as creatives get caught chasing when at some point we have to sit down and say, I'm making 10 songs that sound like this, and I'm going to make them the best that I can. And then you move on, you know what I mean? But you've got to, at some point, just go in and say, my commitment to myself is by March 20th or 21st, a year from today, I'm going to have 5 completed songs, and stay focused on that. Okay. Don't chase.
5 completed songs and don't change. Okay.
Don't change it. Don't chase it. Even if they suck when they're done, have 5 completed songs to say that you finished something, because the only way you're going to be able to find your sound is you have to complete something. You don't know what your sound is because you haven't given it to anyone to see if they like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
so at some point we have to put it out there, and then we see, wow, no one's liking it. Okay, let's bring it back. Wow, I put that out and people started sharing it. Wow, okay, now I'm on, so we have to test. No one can knows what your food tastes like unless you let them eat it.
Right.
Right now you're in the inventory business. You got a whole bunch of food you haven't shared with anybody. So go share it and then start seeing what people are digging on.
Okay.
And then that's your sound. Whatever they start sharing and digging, that's your sound.
Okay, cool.
And Eric,
thank you.
Tell you, I have over 1,200 software plugins, and I only use like Rick said, I only use 20 maybe. So a quick way, just to kind of leave you off with something, is go to what is it called? Genius Deconstructed, when they deconstruct the beats and the songs. And if you like that sound, just use the exact sounds that person's using, and just start there, because it's too broad of a question.
Okay.
Good luck. Okay.
And follow a bunch of people on YouTube. He can still hear us, but follow a bunch of people on YouTube. Go see Ill Factor over at Beat Academy. He takes the hottest song on the charts every Friday, and over the weekend he goes back and says, here's how you make the drum sound off of Khaled song. Here's how you do this. Go to, Busy Bee. Go anywhere that you can to hear what these people are doing, but limit it to like 2 or 3. Because if you have like 10, then you're going to chase all 10 things, and that's going to do it. But find someone you trust. I think there's a whole bunch of people that subscribe to Carlin's YouTube channel. Go on there, start typing in what you're looking for, finish out a project. If you have a question, all you got to do is probably type in something, and one of his damn videos will show up because he knows how to do it right.
Yeah, it's like a little.
Bill, unmute yourself.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing? A bit shifty. Of course you are.
Yeah. So busyworksbeats.com. You know what? You're one of the first guys that I followed like on my whole journey back to music. I used to DJ back in the 90s, rave scene. It was great. So a lot of my beats are kind of like, they end up like a lot of breaks from that time era brought to new school. But anyway, I've always been about breaks, hip hop, all that stuff. And I'm from Charlotte. Right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Charlotte representing. And so the baby just blew up. Everybody knows his story, right? So my question more pertains to working with artists that are local, like not at his stature, but working your way towards getting into the studios and talking to the managers that manage these people to just basically.
So if you were to call me as a manager, what I would want to do is I want to hear what you've been doing so far. And then I would probably reach out to those people and say, what was he like to work with? So there's going to be some research that's done. If you're hot, I'm going to know who you are anyway, which is really good. So you're going to have a better negotiating power because I'm going to be coming to you. But if you're trying to get your foot in the door, also too, something that I don't think's used enough of, but when you can go recreate a song and put your own spin on it, now all of a sudden you got my ear. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow, it's like, and that's we brought up Bill Factor a second ago. He was doing remixes for Timbaland. That's how he got started. He was his remix person. So it's like today, especially since the life expectancy of songs are so fast. If you have the ability to extend the life of a song for me as a manager, for my artist, I want to have a conversation with you because that's a new piece of content that can drive people back to the original deal. And once it's out in the world, now you got a chance to do something with it. You don't even have to ask my permission.
Right. That makes sense. And in regards to meeting you as a manager locally, for the artists that are local, that are maybe small, maybe they're dealing with smaller managers and they're trying to build their thing. So we're all trying to
shoot a quick DM to whoever, because somebody's watching their Instagram channel, usually the manager, and just shoot a quick DM and say, hey, I'd love to have a chat with your manager when you get a chance. Can you give him my contact information? Thanks. By the way, love your song.
Right. So as far as the promotion side, you recommend possibly like throwing some remixes together, entering remix competitions, that sort of thing.
Anything like that. But hey guys, the DM factor on Facebook and Instagram right now is probably the most powerful tool in the world. That's not being utilized enough. Don't abuse it, but know that you can get to anyone now. You can go to any famous person in their DM. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys that this is my strategy, and people have paid me thousands of dollars to have it, but this is my gift for you guys. When you go in to Instagram and you go into message. So right now, I'm going to do this in real time. So right now, I go in and I got a whole bunch of requests from people. So let's say Nick said, hey, Rick, love your online music marketing course, but I have a quick and kind of specific question. My band is generally made of college students, everyone but me. And while over the summer, we get constantly sell tickets decently, blah, blah, blah. That's a long one. I'm not going to be able to do that. So let me just go back here. Aaron George, I appreciate this meetup we are currently doing with BWB on YouTube. Respect. So I'm going to hit accept. So now I'm going to go to Aaron's page. I'm going to follow him back. I'm going to hit message, and I'm going to hit that little camera button, and I'm going to take 15 seconds out of my day. Yo, Aaron, what's up? I'm talking about you in real time, man. I appreciate you. Have yourself a great day. All right. Hey, and what can I do to serve you in the music space? Talk to you soon. See ya. Done. Keep in chat. Send. So now I just asked him a question. Hey, I'm a producer wondering if you're looking for beats. Whoa. It's like then they say, yeah. Then you're able, hey, big fan of your work, blah, 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 blah. Then you're able to do it. that video message is going to stick out on a famous person's when they're scrolling through their messages and they see the video that comes along. So that's a little trick that you guys can use to get a hold of people. Hey, just don't be a germ and be that. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate what y'all are doing here, and I'll hit you up. I'll DM you right after this,
dude. I'm here.
Yeah.
All right,
right
man.
on.
Be good.
All
All
right,
right, bye.
bye, guys.
All right, Phil. See you, buddy.
Later.
Anonymous attendee says, "Is it possible to get lessons on how to rap and how to produce?"
Wait, where we at?
I'm in the Q&A.
Lessons on how to rap. I have a friend, How to Rap Drew. Look him up. He's out in LA. He teaches how to rap.
Okay.
Also, Rob Level from Smart Rapper. Good friends. And
He's funny dude too. Funny dude. And yeah, go check out Smart Rapper. There's a whole YouTube channel about that. So we'll get rid of a bit shifty. Somebody else had popped up there for a second.
Okay, there's so many things going on. I got YouTube.
Yeah, I know, right?
Love
it. Yeah, so you just go to the participants.
Let me
and
kick somebody out by accident.
you did, and that was Ahmedadara Josiah.
Gotcha.
So even though there he's at the bottom of the chat list, you got him. Cool.
Got him.
And then you can move a bit shifty.
Oh, I didn't.
Back into the space.
Gotta get this workflow down. I gotta get.
Madara, what's up? How are you?
Check.
Hello. We got you. Go ahead.
Oh, nice. Finally. Oh, man. Yeah. So we're big in Canada. And American artist is hip hop.
We cannot understand what you're saying. You're breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Try now. Now you froze. There you are. Go ahead. Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Hear you. Sorry, but I think he asked a question in the chat.
You got it? Okay, I'll go read your question in the chat here real quick. Hold on. My artist is about to drop his second project. This time we want to tour extensively. We're based in Canada, and he makes hip hop. What is the best strategy to make sure he tours extensively? First things first, does he have an audience to tour to? You know, that's the key. A lot of times if you go out without an audience, you're good, especially in Canada. That's a big ass country, man. And that's why a lot of the Canadian artists don't even tour Canada. It costs so much to go across it. The key with all of this stuff is to make sure that you've got an audience that you're going to. You look in your Spotify for artist analytics, your Facebook analytics, your Instagram analytics, and start seeing where your listeners are. You can also go on your socials and say, hey, we're looking to play Toronto. You know, find out where your people are. You're thinking of using a touring agency. That's easier said than done, because a touring agency is going to want to know that they're able to make money. Yes, the touring agency is good. So if if a touring agency normally only makes 10%. So if you're only making $1,000 a show and they get 100 and you're only able to do one show, they're not going to really want to work with you right now. You're better off booking it yourself and saving that $100. But he says, I don't want us to make a limited amount on tour. You're going to make as much as the audience is there for you to be able to tour to. So unfortunately, since if you're going to have to give us some more information, and unfortunately we couldn't hear you, so let's get the next person. But make sure that you guys are touring to an audience, because it sucks playing to an empty room. And the promoters will not like that, and you won't like it either. So go ahead and let him rest, and then bring up RXST.
His thing is glitching super hard, so.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, we can hear you. Who's this?
It's the artist. You guys have already answered my question. I just forgot to raise the hand down.
Oh, no worries. Well, we appreciate you. We served you. You got what you needed?
Yeah. But I want to say thank you to BusyWorks for all the details as well while I'm here. So. Thank you.
You're the man for being here, for taking action, jumping into the Zoom. You could have just went easy route, went on YouTube, but now you're here.
See you.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
Forgive me here. I'm trying to. There's a glitch on the system, so. Umar, looks like you're next.
Is this Umar Hussein?
Umar Hussein.
Yeah, he's asking a record label question. Hey, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So basically, yeah, I can't really talk loud because I'm in the UK and my family's sleeping right now.
That's okay. We'll whisper back. Go ahead.
So basically, it's mainly just like two questions. One about a record label.
Yep.
Are they worth it anymore?
They're worth it for the right artist.
What about for producers? Because I'm a producer slash.
Record labels usually aren't signing producers, but they'll work with producers.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are some like producer crews, like, you know, Dr. Luke and all those people, Max Martin, they all got their producer crews. So they're like a label for producers, but the traditional record labels right now, unless you're a producer artist.
Yeah.
And that's the way we've been seeing it. Carlin, you have anything to add to that? As far as, I think that I don't know labels that are just signing producers.
Mm-hmm. I would, like you said, I think your message tonight is flip it into thinking like a business instead of like an employee type of mindset, which is hoping somebody gives you something. As a producer, and Rick is like embodying this, is you have to be the entrepreneur. So like you have to realize that a lot of people are looking to get songs made. They don't know how to do it. So you can be that position in your area or your network online, and then give them the promise of the song while you monetize all the other things along the way. So like you can monetize them being in the studio for your content. You can do all the other stuff, and then they can walk away with a song. That's their payment. So come up with an agreement where they walk away in the exchange with a song, and then you walk away with some other value, like content or sound bite or like vocal tag services or sound packs, whatever. You have to get value out of it too.
Yeah. And
that's the way I'm doing it. I'm about to do it on a
question
big scale.
Is I'm currently looking for a manager right now.
So how much are you currently making?
Off music, I'm making probably about $800 to $900 a month.
Okay, so your manager would make $80. So what you have to do, what do you need a manager for, in your opinion?
I feel like I've been like promoting my music for a while, like producing and engineering it myself, and my vocals on myself. But I don't feel like I have the like status quo to like get out there, because no one's like listening to what I'm saying.
Well, they're not listening to what you're saying because you're not getting it to the right people to listen to it. That's what we've been talking about a lot tonight, is that a lot of this is on you, is that you need to get your music out to the world. I was wearing a hat earlier that says capitalist pig. And I love capitalism, because what capitalism means is that the market decides. No manager, no agent, no record dude, no nothing. It's the market decides whether it's good enough. So what you need to learn, you don't need a manager right now. You need to learn how to utilize social media. And do you have do you have an hour a day that you can put aside to getting your music out into the world?
Yeah.
I can show you how to do that for and if you got 2 hours, then twice as many people have a chance to hear it. Go to socialmediaformusic.com. Go watch that free video. It's 42 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's going to show you what you need to be doing. It's also going to show you how I've got clients of mine that just took my advice and got 254,000 monthly listeners on Spotify because he bought this thing called the Indie Spotify Bible. Yeah. And he sent out 500 emails. Yeah, 500 emails. Every day he sent out stuff, and he got picked up by some of these big playlists and ended up being added to these blogs. His music's already been on Spotify. Nobody found him. He had to go find the person. That's what you have to do. That's what almost everybody watching on YouTube or here. You guys all have the ability to get your music heard and played every single day. You just need to know how. So there are no more excuses, because I've given you guys 2 websites to go to learn how to do it. So now it's on you.
So with sending the emails, where would I find those emails?
You would go buy the IndieSpotifyBible.com. And that's where the emails and the Instagram things, it's research.
Okay.
You know, I'll type it in here. I'll give you guys the $25 discount code too. All you do is just go to IndieSpotifyBible.com and Spotify. You can go grab the next question too. Indie Spotify.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
/MIB. Go there. You'll save $25, and it breaks it down by genre. It teaches you how to write emails. That's a lot what I teach. Is how to not be that guy or girl. Is how to really go in and get this thing done right. So appreciate you.
There it is, James. Oh wait, did I click something? Hold on, James. Let me bring you back in real quick.
Yeah. Also, go get rid of anonymous attendee, BWB. Anybody who hides behind that is just an asshole. So.
Let me see. Anonymous attendee. How do I?
That's just the person. Yeah, whoever's typing as anonymous attendee, have the balls to speak up or get the hell out.
Where are we at? You in the chat?
I'm in the chat. Yeah, there's a dick in the chat. So, yeah, I've already got him. But but somebody, whoever doesn't have the ability to say who they are and talk shit is just a punk. So,
I didn't notice.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. I got you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's the person who wanted to know if they could get lessons on how to rap. Yeah, you don't need lessons on how to rap. You need lessons on not how to be an a-hole. Go ahead. Next. Hello, James.
Can you see me or hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Got you. So before I start, I want to say thanks. BusyWorks, you actually taught me how to produce, so I want a huge thank you for everything you do. It's not just me, the music producer community as a whole. So thank you. I had like one question, but it turned like three. Rick, being that you're the way it sounds to me, you kind of set the groundwork on using socials.
Yes.
Like musicians and producers. I know not everything works for everybody, but what are some things that you found worked for you that kind of you didn't see people doing?
Live. I was one of the first people to jump in on that. And the reason for that is because we live in a video society right now. It's like we hear with our eyes is what I tell people. It's like, here's what sucks is most of the stuff that's being consumed on socials is being consumed with the volume down. Well, crap. If you're a musician and you're trying to get them. So I started trying to just speak the different languages. I didn't try to go to Facebook to build my YouTube channel. I started speaking the languages of each of the channels. But one of the things that I found worked really well for me too is showing them who I was as a person. Too often people on social are trying to front and make us think they're living very unhappy lives. And when I come in and say, you know what, today sucked. Now all of a sudden people are like, whoa, I can relate to this. So goes back to what we said at the very, very beginning. We all have a story. We all have something. I want to get to know you. And live video, when I can just turn on my Instagram live and just go for a walk and take people through a walk in my town and introduce them to my town, or, sit down and tell them the story behind a song, or, you're driving in the car and you just go on Instagram live and say, look, I can't see who's there, but I got this beat that's running through my head. I wanted to share it with you guys. And tonight when I'm in the studio, hit me up. I'm going to go live in the studio. It's just bringing them in on your day-to-day journey is something that I started doing a long time ago. Everybody else was just posting. I wanted to start having conversations. A lot of people were just talking. I wanted to interact. I wanted to engage. And that's what's really worked well for me and the artist. It's like, I tell people, it's like, let's just go find 1,000 people in the world that love what you do. Let's make them a part of everything. It's like when you go into the studio, they go in the studio with you. When you write down your notes, you take a picture of your scribble pad and you do this. It's like the other night when I'm getting to watch Carlin make a whole R&B song and do the whole thing. That's the stuff that's different right now. It's like he pulled back the curtain. It's the Wizard of Oz, man. It's like, because here's the thing. You are someone's favorite artist. You are. So you need them to feel that, wow, my favorite artist commented on my post. Sometimes we just need to go in and share other people's stuff. It's like you find somebody that you like, share them across your Instagram story and tag them without asking for nothing. You will be surprised how fast somebody DMs you back and wants to know everything about you. It's like we need to start treating people the way we did in the old days when we had to physically have conversations with them and talk to them instead of just no more emojis. Complete a sentence, It's like, it's like, so that's how I think that, and I'm sitting here looking at your demeanor, wanting to know more about you. So do they. Does that make sense? I don't know. It was kind of a rant, but it's just,
definitely.
Yeah, I hope that made sense.
And it kind of sort of led into my other question was, I've been doing this for I'm a producer and I've been doing it for about 2 years. And so I've kind of gotten the production side of it now. And so now I'm trying to learn the marketing and the online part of it.
Sure.
And so how do you go about finding your audience and making sure that you're appeasing to them without it being.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. One, I would start listening to podcasts on marketing and things like that. There's some really good ones. My podcast, I cover a lot of that stuff. I talk a lot of stuff. It's the Music Industry Blueprint podcast, but there's one called Creative Juice by Circa and Corinne from Indiepreneur. They're hour and a half long, and they get into the Facebook marketing and they go deep in the weeds and stuff like that. But I think every day, so what I would encourage you to do, and this is for all of you. So as we're speaking with James, this is for all of you. I want you guys to take one of your songs, and tonight I want you to go to an app called Canva, CANVA.com. It's like Photoshop for Dummies. And they have the sizes that you can do. Also, what's cool too, and next time we do this, Carlin, is we could share our screen and go in, and I could go in and do all this stuff. But there's a lot of questions we want to get to. So go into Canva. I want you to take a lyric from your song, and I want you to go into Canva and take the thing that says the size for Instagram story. And I want you to put a cool little image and the thing to your song. And then I just want you to post that in your Instagram stories. And then I want you to take that same one and I want you to post it into your profile and tell everybody the story that was behind that song. And then if you have that song on Spotify, all you guys have to do is go to your Spotify, click the three little dots next to the song, hit share, hit Instagram story. Now you can share that in your Instagram story. And now when people get it, it says click to listen on Spotify. You click on it. If people listen to 31 seconds, you just got paid. So there's ways every day that you can put your music out there and your message and your vibes. I'm a very spiritual person, so I'm doing a lot of quotes. Quotes do really well. You could even put you could have a Martin Luther King quote and then just have your logo down at the bottom or whatever, or this quote inspired this song, and then you send them to that song. See, Twitter, people forget about Twitter. Twitter's powerful because Twitter's link friendly. So you can say whatever you want and send a link to send them to your Spotify, to send them to your Instagram, to send them to your Facebook, to send them to your YouTube. People are forgetting about that. Don't forget about Twitter, but just put your message out there every single day.
Gotcha.
Okay, I can't read the bottom of your shirt, and I have to read it. I'm black every month, but this month I'm blackity black. God, I love it.
Got a couple more days to wear.
That I would put. See, yeah. Hold on. Lift your shirt up again. Hold on. Lift your shirt up again. Hold on, real quick. I want you to get this. I'm gonna do it. All right. Let me do this. Boom. Yep. Here it is. Yep. All right. Yep. Got it. And then what's your Instagram? Because I'm gonna tag you when I share that later.
Actually, I can send it to you. But
just put it in the chat. Yeah, put it in the chat or DM me, and I'll hit you back with that picture, and I'll tag you. That is funnier than heck.
Gotcha.
All right. Anonymous attendees now apologizing, saying he was just kidding. So, yeah.
I don't see anybody.
You got to and if you go to the Q&A.
Oh, Q&A.
And it could be 8 or 9 people all just, it's like if they don't put their name up, but I don't ever answer anything from people who are anonymous, but somebody was talking some smack and saying bad things about you, so I just wanted to shut them up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I allowed anonymous questions or whatever. Oh, I can turn it off. There we go.
Yes.
Check mark. A little check mark changes it all.
That's it. Now somebody has to have the balls to stand up for themselves. All right. LaShawn, what's up?
Oh, wait. I saw your mic move. LaShawn, you there? Give him 5 more seconds.
Okay, and then Jamal will be the last hand raised, and then I want to go through the questions that were submitted in the Q&A part, and then anything that you see on Instagram. So go ahead, Jamal, come back. He's coming. There you are. Unmute. You're good.
All right, Jamal, you there?
Yeah, you're there now. What's up?
We can't hear you, but
yeah, something's in the kitchen cooking, but we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Turn your mic on to the right. There you go. Try now.
You got to change your mic source.
Yeah, because he has a mic source. We saw that, but just go pick it. What it looks like, it's going to be built-in microphone.
Yeah. Dang.
I can't read lips. I tried.
Sorry, we can't hear you. But how about you hit us with the Q&A? How about that? Sorry
All right,
about
there
that.
you go. Okay, real quick, going down. How do you find promoters? Says Mo Poot A. You get a list of promoters. I mean, you know, or is it for your local city? Is it? It depends.
When I hit answer live, I'm sorry.
Answer live just means that you're going to answer it live here. Type answer means you're going to type answer and nobody else can see it.
Oh, and then when I hit,
So we're answering it live. So it really depends. So if you've got a list of local promoters, you could even type in local promoters in Detroit, local hip hop promoters, local music promoters. You're just going to have to become a detective and do some research here. James Payne says, I know not everyone works for everyone, but what are some of the things that worked for you or that you had to change? As far we answered that. So we got that already. When dealing with contractual agreements and artist negotiations, how important is it to document and invoice your time with clients in order to make sure people get what they are owed? I think documenting your time is always important, especially if they want to audit you later and you charge per hour. Also, what are individual qualities in a client that make them the easiest to work with? And how do you deal with difficult clients? I don't deal with difficult clients anymore. That's the position that I'm in. I realized a long time ago that that's just not the world that I want to play in. Take a look. Don't be afraid to date people before you work with them. Try a 30-day run to kind of see what happens, see how people respond. Go look at what they're doing when no one's around. You know what I mean? Find out from other people that they've worked with, what they've done with. But it's just really hard right now. I don't want to deal with negative people. I mean, you know, I don't know about you, Carlin. What's your thoughts on that?
This is so funny because the other day I literally didn't want to deal with a customer who was giving me a hard time. So I said, I'd rather not do business with you respectfully. I don't want your money. I'm going to refund you everything you've ever paid. And let's just go about our life.
Not all money's the right money is what I tell people all the time. That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Josh says, what's the best way to grow an organic audience? I feel like I'm making music that sounds great, but I don't know how to self-promote. First thing is don't promote, share. Big difference. A lot of times we're promoting, people read into that. Go to socialmediaformusic.com. You'll see exactly what you should be doing and how to use those platforms. But the key is don't promote, get involved in conversations. Madera. Okay, here he is. I got his stuff. I'm a new and young manager. I manage about 3 artists. We have set up a solid plan for the future. I'm just wondering if it would be too much work for me when the artist starts blowing up. Yes, it's going to be too much work for you. So you hire assistants. And you want to make sure that you hire assistants sometimes even sooner than you need them, because if it looks like one of the other artists seems like you're favoring someone else, they're all ego driven. Everything we love about artists is everything we hate about it. But if all of a sudden it looks like one artist is getting your attention and another one's not, it gets real dangerous. So be sure you hire that assistant early. Make sure that any of the busy work, no pun intended, that you give that to someone else so that you can focus on making sure that your artists are able to get to you, because when it seems like they can't get to you anymore, they're going to go find somebody that they can get to, and you're going to be ass out at that point. As a producer, how can I get my beats out there? Same way as an artist. That's Davin. I think we talked to him earlier. What do you recommend for creatives to create a healthy balance between actually creating and building, managing the business of you? I like to schedule things out. I like to schedule out the post. I like, there's some great scheduling tools. We talk a lot about that, about how to automate this stuff. A lot of the questions you guys are answering, which is really good, because it's going to give us a chance to drive you to socialmediaformusic.com at some points. A lot of this stuff we talk about, but the key to everything is finding your life work balance. It's like, so in the morning, I have morning rituals. I get up in the morning, I get a cup of coffee, I stretch, and then I read a 15-minute devotion with my wife. We have a couple's devotion that we do. And then at least that way we can connect for a few minutes in the morning. And then I get up and I come upstairs and I don't open my emails. Here's why. Soon as I open my emails, I'm on someone else's agenda and not my own. They've sent me whatever it is they want from me. So I stay away from email till about 10 o'clock. I go ahead and I'll sit down and I have a strategy that's called the Big Three. What are the big 3 things that I need to get done today in order to move? So I use a thing called the Full Focus Planner. I don't recommend it yet because it's like $50. But I have it. It's a quarter planner and I get it sent to me automatically. And it's like, here's my quarterly goals. Here's my yearly goals. Here's the 3 things that I need to do today. Because I have a weekly Big 3. Like this week, I needed to finish recording a course. I needed to finish doing a webinar. So every day, my Big 3, finish webinar presentation slides, then there's a task. That task is different than the big threes. I keep everything kind of organized and focused like that. I have a whiteboard that I write the big three, and I keep looking at it, and it's like, shit, I didn't get that off the board. What do I have to do? I don't go on YouTube and start clicking the little blue lines unless that hour is for research, because I'll do research. I have an hour a day where I go in and just check my Instagram messages and my Facebook messages. So I really stay organized and stay focused, but that's just a decision that you're going to make. LaShawn, this is a question that Carlin's going to have to answer. As an upcoming producer, what's the best way to start selling my beats?
In the beginning, you have to leverage somebody else's system. So just look at BeatStars.
Okay. Monica, if you want to ask a question live, you need to raise your hand, darling, or else we're just reading questions from here. Umar, we already talked to him. Waverick, I want to provide value and connect points. Make awesome music and be laser focused, but not just alone. I'm really hungry to share and interact. Find a community. Go find a group online. Go find a community. I know there's probably a lot of hip hop communities online that you can go and get involved in that group. Are you reading it? How are you reading that, Carlin?
Connect points, I guess, a network, make awesome. Yeah, you're right. Community.
Get in community. If you live in a community, like if you're not in Atlanta or one of the hubs like that, then you're going to have to go find community online, find conferences that are out there that you can attend. Go reach out to people that you like their stuff online. You like what they're posting. That's how I would go out and do it.
It seems like his motivation is contribution and connection with humans. That's like the Tony Robbins, one of the 6 human needs.
That's it. Jamal says, how many streams do you think an artist needs before managers check for them? Streams can be bought. We're not looking for streams. We're looking for shares. We're looking for saves. We're looking for engagement. The thing is that somebody was smart and said, hey, we'll just make your YouTube channel look bigger than it is, because right now every label wants the next Justin Bieber. So all these record companies went and signed a bunch of people that had 1 million views on Instagram and realized when they put a record out, they could only sell 30 or 40 records. So those days are gone, because subscribers, likes, that if we go look at your engagement, it's all fist pump emojis and stuff. We know those are fake. That's bought engagement. The key is this: you start generating income. You start, constantly be featuring on different playlists. The right manager is going to find you. And if they don't, then you make sure you have a story to go share with that manager, but make sure it's real. Nobody wants to work with a liar. Too often people are showing up. And I use that as an example in my profile. This kid that called himself billionaire with 123,000 likes, but he only had 6 posts. And one of the posts, it was all one of those engagement groups. And I use that as a what not to do in my presentation. So don't do that. How do you find a mentor to evaluate our business infrastructure and model? I don't know that you find a mentor for that, but you could hire somebody to do that. Here's the thing. A lot of times that word mentor gets thrown around a lot, and people assume that it just means somebody should mentor you for free, that they should give you their time for free. Those days are over, because almost anything you want to quote unquote learn, you can learn online. But if you want my physical time, you have to pay for it. I have courses that people that I consider my mentors that I've never bought, that I've spent that I've never met, that I've spent thousands of dollars with. So if you're looking for someone to evaluate your business and infrastructure model, I would hire somebody that you trust, that you see has the expertise that you want to get. Like I hired a guy to come in, paid him $2,500 for the day, just so he could make sure that when somebody sent this email, that the next one triggered, and that my websites had pixels on it. I could have done all that stuff myself, but my brain doesn't work that well. So it was easier for me to hire and bring someone in. I went and hired a guy recently, paid him $5,000 for the day to show me how him and his wife, who I think are killing it on Instagram and Facebook ads, they're making more money than all of us in the music space, and they're doing it right. Instead of calling saying, hey, can I take you to lunch and pick your brain? I said, what's your daily rate for you to show me how you guys are doing it? And he laid out the whole plan, the whole infrastructure, and I was able to go in. And off of what I spent the $5,000 that day, we had a $40,000 launch on a particular product. And it was from the $5,000 that I invested with him. So find somebody you can go invest in. Carlin, you try to find mentors. What do you feel about that?
The same thing. I think. Sorry, my headphones are down. I consider Frank Kern my mentor. I only met him once, and the only 2 words I said like 5 words. Thank you. You saved my life. So 6 words. I never had a long, drawn out conversation. I'd studied from his stuff before I even spoke to him. And like you said, those are our mentors.
Yeah.
Frank Kern, Dan Kennedy, all the top guys. So that we just need to shift our like mindset.
Yep, Romeo, go to managemymusiccareer.com. I do a whole presentation on what to look for in a manager, when to find a manager, what to expect from a manager. All that stuff is at managemymusiccareer.com. It's funny because someone from Frank Kern's office called me today, Ian, and he's like, hey, Rick, was wondering if there's anything we can do to get you in on this thing. And I'm like, unfortunately, what they're promoting right now is how to close more people on the phone, and I don't do phone sales. I said, Ian, I'm not there yet, man. Just saw Frank get ClickFunnels, but don't need them. I said, but tell him I said hi. Frank don't know me. You know what I mean? I said, but tell him I said hi. I bought a whole bunch of his stuff.
Hilarious. And yeah, I can see the phone course because he partnered up with Grant Cardone.
Yes.
Course, but consultation thing.
Carlin Eddies is for you.
How can I give? I can't read from back here.
How can I give a beat for the feedback part of this? I do not have a SoundCloud, but I do have a few beats posted online. Can I give you a link and get some feedback during that section?
We'll do feedback later, guys. And
I won't be on here for feedback, by the way, guys.
It's separate.
I got to go down, and my wife and I today's our anniversary of meeting, actually, 23 years. So.
Oh wow, that's dope that you know the exact date you guys met. That's pretty intimate.
You better. Yeah. No, if you want to stay. There's a little advice for you, my friend.
That's hilarious. I got to figure that out.
Adrian says, do you mix and master in the room that you're in?
Me, this room's not treated, so I'm getting a commercial spot. We're going to mix and master there.
Okay.
My quality is way higher than.
Yeah. So please don't add any more questions in. If you need me, I'm going to get this now. We'll do this again.
Cool.
So yeah, this is, guys, like I said, I want to be able, Eddie just gave you the list. Rick, how many stream? Okay. We already answered that one before managers check for them. Carlin, what VST do you think would be best for a blend of Houston, Atlanta, New York sound?
I got to think on that one. That just sounds like a Chick-fil-A / McDonald's / Burger King sandwich. We have to think about that.
Sounds like Little Nas X.
Houston / New York.
New York / Atlanta.
Saw a banner of him in New York.
Wow, there we go. When posting your music, what are the risks of it being stolen, and what would you recommend in regards to protecting it? Montreal, you can only hope that your stuff's good enough to be stolen. Once it comes out of your head onto paper or is done legally, it's copywritten, but if you want to go register it with the Copyright Office, you can. I don't recommend that. It's expensive. The labels don't even do that right now until it's like going to radio. So here's what you do. Take a voice memo, lay down the melody. If you've got some lyrics or verses, lay it down, email it to yourself. It will be time-stamped and have a date on it. And all you ever need to do is prove in court that you created it before somebody else did. So, but don't not put stuff out there because you're afraid.
Yeah, because I want to bring up something that I saw on Twitter. There was like a person in the producer community, like a legal head or whatever, talking about how people are taking people's sample packs and stuff. You guys, when you put stuff online, it's already out there. Like somebody could figure out how to take it if they wanted to. So stop worrying about people taking it. Worry about the people who are actually supporting you. The people who take it, that's their mindset. They're going to take it anyway. So they're not your customers to begin with.
That's it. LaShawn says, email the date for the next show. We haven't quite figured out the date for the next show. This was just something we met each other and wanted to do something fun together. So Pascal says, my cue is for Carlin. What's the best way to proceed when producing? Lyrics first or track first? Yes.
Yes.
Producers say, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we just did this with Sinead in the studio. Do the track first, then like real songwriters, they hum their melody. They don't have perfect words out their mind right away. Then you use the phonetic and then add lyric to it. So
if somebody comes to you with the lyrics, like I have a lot of people, like in the country space, a lot of times the lyrics come first.
Really? That's interesting. Do they have a melody with the lyrics or just lyrics?
They have a melody. They have something in their head that they hear.
Yeah. Top line. Okay, that's what we're referring to.
Yeah.
So top line is
the
song. That's the song.
Something I was looking at too when I was watching your thing the other day is that you were showing people that a lot of folks don't even know where to come in with the lyric on a beat.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's such a process. But much love to all the songwriters out there watching live.
Romeo, go to managemymusiccareer.com. Hey, Adrian, we already got. Our Busy Works as a music producer, how long does it take to see a check from Sound Exchange on beats posted online? Now, beats posted online, Sound Exchange, just because you post something online doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get paid. Just so you guys know that. They have to, like, Sound Exchange collects for internet radio, okay? Pandora, Sirius XM, and things like that. Just because you posted on Facebook your own beat, you're not getting paid from Sound Exchange. So posted online is different. If you guys go to songtrust.com, that's songtrust.com, download their free publishing guide. It's the easiest one to understand. And it's a very complicated subject, but one that's so important for all of you guys. So go to songtrust.com. And I'll type that into all panelists and attendees. And also follow Cato on the track. Cato, the producer. He does a lot of stuff on publishing. He's fantastic.
Cato on the track. Shout out to Cato. I still haven't met him, but shout out.
Oh, you will. I'll make sure that happens. He's bad. He's amazing. He'll be on that same thing that we're not going to mention yet that you and I are going to be doing together. He'll be on it, and I'll make sure that you guys meet.
Awesome. Much love.
Okay. All right. I think all my questions have been answered in the question part. Yeah. So guys and gals, it has been an awesome opportunity to serve you this evening. I hope we brought value to each and every one of you. If you've got social media stuff, go to socialmediaformusic.com. If you want more information about management, go to managemymusiccareer.com. Or just go to rickbarker.com. I'll type in my website. That's the best way to find me. Hit me up on Instagram. That's where I love to play. rickbarker.com. And now I can put my Bizline back in. I'm supposed to have, this was 2 hours. I'm only 22 hours a day.
I used to be so crazy about that too. Like,
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be all crooked because of you guys, but then I talk about this all the time.
Right. Well, enjoy the process. It's going to be a fun process. Oh,
That's
and
it.
if they tell you to get those little dot things, you don't need those because it's just it's a headache. The little
I won't do it.
Yeah,
Smile Direct Club doesn't do it. I just on the ends. Oh shit, this hurts like a son. On the inside, I got to trim it down and file it because it's like poking the back of my tongue.
Yeah,
shit hurts, man.
Yeah. That happened to me too. Make sure you brush them.
I get my little file. I gotta go file them, and brush them.
Dunk them in Listerine like every day.
We have it. We have that whole little thing. I mean, this is just my first day, and I'm already wimping out. Man, it's crazy.
But all right,
you guys be good. All right, brother. I appreciate you so much, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you so much.
Peace.
See you guys. All right, we're still on YouTube. I think. Are we on YouTube? Let me pull my camera back. Give me a moment. But that was pretty in depth. Rick Barker is a wealth of knowledge and experience. Not only knowledge, but experience. Now I can turn my mic down because somebody said, they were like, y'all are clipping. And I was like, yeah, I figured it out halfway in. But yeah, I don't even know how to top that. I just want to thank everybody on YouTube for joining. Everybody who had that Zoom link could ask the questions. But what we'll do in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to cut the YouTube video so that it stops and tells YouTube that it's a different video. It takes about 20 minutes of in between time. And then we'll do the song feedback. So what you have to do for song feedback is go to facebook.com/groups. Wait, let me type it in the chat real quick. facebook.com/groups/busyworksbeats. And then once you join the group, I'll approve you. And let me do it right now. Actually, I'll be fair. And in the next 20 minutes, I'll post a post. Let me do it. Let me kind of create the post, but then I'll hit enter in about 20 minutes. Hopefully I'm making sense. Hold on one sec. So I'm going to say, hey, we're going live on YouTube. Send in your song links. And then I'll hit post in about 20 minutes. So that will give people a chance to join the group. and then it's first come first serve. So we'll go from the top to the bottom, and we'll just listen to your tracks. And if you want feedback, I'll give you feedback. We're just here to kind of vibe. Also, Vince, forgive me, I had a whole document with your question. Are you familiar with? I'm gonna have to ask them off camera because I forgot, Vincent, to go back to that sheet. Forgive me for that. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this stream, but then we're going to be streaming in about 20 minutes. Okay, so that's the agenda, and then we'll do song feedback. So if you have songs, not just beats, songs, we want to hear those. And thank you again for joining. We'll be right back in 20 minutes, 20 to a half an hour.